Destruction of the poor is his poverty, Lord. Destruction of your soul is vanity. Yeah, yeah. Do you hear? I wanna rule my destiny. Yeah, I wanna rule my destiny. Whoa, destiny. Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny. Mama, look from when you call it. I wanna rule my destiny. Yeah. Oh, help I please. Jah make me rule my destiny. Oh, Lord, I've been blessed, I've been touched. I love Jah so much. They keep fighting me. I'm not giving up. May the realms of Zion fill my spiritual cup. Wisdom overstanding must never be too much. Give I protection day and night from even the pestilence that walk at that daylight. Destiny, Mama, look from when you calling. Destiny, Mama, look from when you calling. I wanna rule my destiny. Yeah, oh, help I please. Jah make me rule my destiny. Oh, yeah. Cast away their cards most, Lord. You have them in the region, in the valley of decision, restraining the Edens with a rod of iron. You know not the destiny of a next man. Why hold him? Set him free for too long. I wanna rule my destiny. Oh yeah, I really wanna rule my destiny. Hear me call. Destiny, Mama, look from when you calling. Destiny, Mama, look from when you calling. I wanna rule my destiny. Oh, hey, help I please. I wanna rule my destiny. Where could I found?
We are about to start. We are about to start in the next few minutes.
Man's wealth is in the city. Oh, destruction of the poor is our poverty. Yeah, destruction of her soul is vanity. Oh, do you hear? Whoa, yes.
Brothers and sisters of Mason Hall, good night. We are here tonight to begin our next education campaign. I would like each and every one of you to join me in standing as we sing, as the DJ plays the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you. We will now invite Miss Roxanne Halen to lead us in prayer.
Pleasant good night to one and all. Please close your eyes as we welcome the God in our presence. Dear God and our merciful Father, I thank you for waking each and every one of us up this morning. The fact that you woke us up, it means that you have purpose still for our lives. Thank you for each and every one of us gathered. Thank you that we have come to celebrate, to acknowledge that without you, nothing is possible. I pray, O Father, Lord, that you continue to watch over us. And as we go about campaigning for a purpose of Tobago, I pray that you continue to be with each and every one of us. I pray that we get the support that is needed. I pray, O Father, Lord, that you continue to help us to live as one, even during and after. Let us remember that this is a place and a space that you have born us into, and let us cherish it and do good for our island. We invite you to be present in the beginning and in the end. In Jesus' holy name I pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Helen. Ladies and gentlemen, the TPP is in Mason Hall, and tonight we have a packed program for you. I want to welcome you to this place, whether you are at your home, whether you are following us on your devices, wherever you are, we welcome you. Let me recognize the political leader of the Tobago People's Party, Right Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, our deputy political leaders, one of whom is Dr. Faith Brebner, other executive members of the TPP, and executive members of the Tobago House of Assembly secretaries. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. I am given very sad news for you, brothers. A hard worker with the TPP, a man who has given yeoman service, has passed. Mr. Leandro Norre, I want to ask you to join me in a minute of silence for his passing. Thank you. TPP people! Are you ready? What is this? What is the mark? What is the code? Are you ready? All right. Well, we have a battery of powerful speakers tonight, and we will not delay too much. Our first speaker tonight, ladies and gentlemen, a man who is from Government House Road, went to the east and landed there and never left. A man who don't want to leave at all. He find food, he find family, everything the man find up there. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who has served Tobago well. A man who has been a fireman for 41 years. Tonight, tonight he's going to talk with you, but before he comes, I want to tell you, he is and will be the next representative for Tobago East. Because we have displaced the incumbent, and we are going to confirm it when? Oh yeah, sure. Come no man. When? 28th of April, we will say the final goodbye to the candidate, the representative for Tobago East. Ladies and gentlemen, join me. Help me to bring to the lectern Mr. David Joseph Tomo Thomas.
Good night to Mason Hall. TPP people. Good night to all you people from Tobago West. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a night, and I believe in all my heart it is a night that the Lord has made. And we will rejoice, and we will be glad. Permit me to recognize the political leader of the Tobago People's Party, the Right Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, Deputy Political Leaders, Dr. Faith Brebner, Mrs. Natisha Charles Pantin, and Mr. Trevor James, the chairman of the party, Ms. Ann Natasha Seconds, and all executive members, all assemblymen, and all assistant secretaries. Pleasant night to all of you. No, I'm not used to opening the batting, but don't worry. If you can bat, you can bat. It doesn't matter the batting order. Mason Hall, you have been accustomed over the years to political pedigree. And when you talk pedigree, you're talking about high breeding. If you understand the world of dogs, when they say you have substantial pedigree, it means that you are purebred. And you have had a purebred in the person of former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. You also had a challenger or a person who tried to walk in the footsteps in Lawrence Hislop. And I would imagine with that kind of political pedigree, Mason Hall should have been the ideal community, because you would have expected that these men would have caused Mason Hall to be well developed, invested in, and thriving. Because as they say, Parson does christening picnic first. But I will bring the baptizing water and sprinkle on your head, because I'm going to christen you. And I will make sure that you flourish in this Tobago space. You know, today I became very solemn, if not sad. And I felt that my countenance, as they speak in Bible language, almost fell, meaning that I almost cried. And that is because I was reading an extract from the very renowned A.N.R. Robinson when he gave his speech in the Parliament, when he made his approach to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, so that Tobago will finally have a say in this Twin Island Republic. But in reading the document, there is a stanza that said to me that the Caribbean is the third world, third world. I want to repeat that. The Caribbean is the third world's third world. But more than that, Mr. Robinson lamented that Tobago is the third world of that third world. And it broke my heart. And he went on to describe many, many Caribbean islands and by the size and all that. And he stated clearly that Tobago is the only little island in the Caribbean that has never been able to determine its destiny. And I don't know if you are happy about that. He also lamented that lots of Tobagonians went to their graves with the pain of this unfulfilled expectation. Ladies and gentlemen, it created a spirit in me, or it awakened a spirit in me that will cause me to go down to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And if I had to sweat everything I have on, and if I have to use all the superlatives, and all the descriptive language, and all the battle language, because sometimes you just have to use battle language, I will make sure that this that is being said now will not continue to be the utterances of Tobago people. Just walk through Mason Hall, a shadow of itself, and you know that in the context of what Mason Hall was, because I was born right down the road in Government House Road. So just over Belmont Road, we had a huge herd of cows. And being the first son in our family, I had to accompany my father. And when he was absent, I had to be there to tend to that herd. And I'm looking at everything that I used to know in Mason Hall. Even the secondary school that is there now, they cannot lay claim to that. And we must understand that if you represent a people and you are passionate about your calling, you will represent your people so that your people will develop at the end of the day. And if we are not developing our people, we are in essence very, very poor. Because we know that if you develop your people, opportunities will be created. Your people will become multi-talented, and they would build your country and they would build your society. What were the real benefits that were derived over the last 10 years? Do some introspection. Check it for yourself and tell me. Even neighboring villages like Moriah and Devines Road, if you look, there is nothing close that you could look at and say, well, yes, over the 10 years, we would have gotten X, Y, or Z. And the problem with that, after you have that poor level of representation, after you have that poor level of development, they ask for more time. If you go back in history a little bit, you would very well recognize who was in charge of Tobago over the last 20 years prior to the coming of this administration. And they are now demanding that this administration in the THA produce what they could not have produced in 20 years. And these fellas leaders, when you hear them on the platform, vociferous, arrogant, and when they behave like that, I would simply say to myself, if that effort and energy is put into serving this country and giving this country what it rightly deserves, we will be in a much better place. But they tell us a lot of things, and we do have to listen, because when you listen to people and their utterances, it not only gives you information, but it puts you in a position to know what you do not want to be like. You want to be people of your word, and you want to be people of excellence. You want to be people who produces work. You want to be people who walk the talk. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the present THA is not on trial. Joel Nutsi Sampson is not on trial. And David Joseph Thomas is not on trial. The trial falls outside of this realm. But my word, you know, sometimes you give people portfolios and you are hard on them, you give them all kind of pressure. And poor fella, he cannot do better than he has done. And you still live in great expectation that he will do better, so you may give him another chance. Ladies and gentlemen, the time for giving chance is over. The time for liberation is here. And we are going to go down to the parliament and represent you with distinction. And I am ambitious, and I'm a very ambitious fella, because I do not let people tell me what I can achieve or not achieve. Once you give me a portfolio and you want it to fail, think again. And this responsibility that you are giving to myself and to my friend Joel Marcus Sampson, do not expect failure. Expect liberation. Expect development. Expect that our people will rise to new heights, and we will be the envy of the small islands, they say, in the Caribbean. We will be the envy of all the onlookers, and we will finally drive the nails in the coffin of that Red Brigade. Since December 6, 2021, Tobago has been treated with venom and bad mind. You could imagine inheriting office and receiving $400 million for development. And as materials and goods and services become more expensive, you are now receiving half of that amount. And you're telling me that the people that are in office now care about us? You could imagine allowing people to represent you for 10 years, and one of them talk about 10 times in the parliament, the next one talk about 26 times. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let those figures fool you. There were 480 opportunities to speak, and they took a dose of dumb. When you listen to them now, you wonder if it's the same people who had the opportunity to speak on your behalf. And you cannot sit idly by and allow those things to continue. How are we supposed to develop with $200 million? And mark you, based on the way those disbursement comes, it costs the THA interest on those payments. So therefore, they hit you a low blow earlier, and when you're glad you get a little pittance, you still have a slow leak paying interest. That for us to develop and for true representation to take effect, your support is necessary. You going to the polls is necessary, it's critical. If you don't go, they will go. and you would inherit that same travesty that you have inherited over the years. I am warning you tonight, not threatening. I am warning you tonight. This is not the occasion to make that same mistake again. When the Blue Brigade hit tongue, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that we finally get the best. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I want to say to you, do not allow any opportunity that you have to make a decision on your future to be handed to anybody else. Make your decision, stand by your decision that would identify you as a champion. And I want to tell you tonight, do not be afraid of me. I'm not saying if me and a lion fighting, don't be afraid for me, be afraid for the lion. I'm not saying that. I am saying that don't matter if the war starts, expect I will be the last man standing. I might be 5'7", but I get giant heart and I get giant pedigree. So if they feel them fellas are pedigree, wait till you try me. Ladies and gentlemen, going to Trinidad will cause the lives of Tobagonians to be far better than it is now. And here now put me to the test. Because when I land in Parliament, come the 29th of April, they better don't bring no media review. Because if they bring that, Tobagonians taking off one time. Because the voltage starting one time. Ohm's law for them. The value of current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference and inversely proportional to the resistance. That is what again, voltage, amperage, because Tobago must see a better future, not just for us, but for our children's children. I am breaking no bones because this is serious business. Some people say Tomo will go to Trinidad and be quiet. Take a little journey into my background. Talk to my wife. Talk to my children. This fella you're seeing here, understand pressure. You heard me the other night when I said pressure is perpendicular to any surface upon which it acts. That is not for you. That is to my opponents. When they unravel that, they go realize that they ain't stand a chance. I am simply here to make sure that I give you meaningful representation. I am simply here to create an environment in the Tobago space where Tobagonians can flourish. I am here to make sure that you become very familiar and intimately attached to what great representation is about. And I am not going to lose any opportunity to make sure that is properly demonstrated in this Tobago space. When this election is over and you have elected me, I will promise you one thing, that you will not have all this work on campaigning for the next term, because my work would represent me and my work would exalt you. I am telling you people, listen carefully. All of you who know about Broken Days, the roadmap that has been laid by our present assembly, all are doing is giving them things to fortify them, giving them things to fortify them, giving them things to grow, giving them things to strengthen their place in this society, and giving them things to make you Tobagonians exist on this 116 square miles as the greatest little island on the planet And nobody is going to deny us from experiencing that. Mason Hall, tonight, you have only one choice. Get up early. And I was talking to a good colleague, and she said, man, they don't even have to brush their teeth. But go at the poles and jam them, ram them. And when you rest it on them, they must say, oh Lord, I cannot believe that I could have survived this broad belt. But we want them to survive. Because if they do not survive, they will not be able to differentiate between poor representation and optimum representation. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I am ending on a note. I told you last night in Bethel that you are beautiful, but I want to change one word. I want to change beautiful to beautiful. You see how you look out there? For we are beautiful, and I love you dearly, more dearly than the spoken word can tell. As I leave this podium, and as my adrenaline starts to kick over, just know you got the tip of the iceberg because I have another engagement. But I'm coming back to you because all that you need to know, you must know to justify your actions on April 28th. Do not let this opportunity for us to shift the paradigm slip by you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
BPP rising up, East Tobago stand firm. Always failing us, time overused. East Tobago standing tall. Tomo is our call. Ayana let us down. Time to turn around. Problems growing high. Leadership run dry. Communities in pain. Need a change. Need a change.
Tomo! When you go down to the parliament, you have 59,998 people in Tobago backing you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you two questions. Are you satisfied with the representation you have had over the last 10 years? Who are the persons on trial tonight? The persons on trial as it relates to Tobago are the representative for Tobago East and the representative for Tobago West. We are in the process of marking their appraisal. And what are we giving them? A F. Failing grade. Every one of them have failed. Now, there is another entity in Trinidad called the cabinet that have been in government and they have failed on every point. Finance, management, national security. You just name it and they have failed. So, I want to, every now and then I go back and read Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. It's a book written by George Gibbons. And when I look at the PNM, the parallels are frightening. I listened to my good friend John Jeremy last night as he spoke. And, you know, I had to admit that what John was saying was immortally true. The PNM has, no man, only is sure about that. The PNM has, and what are we going to do? Vote them out. Vote them out, vote them out, vote them out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are speakers, you know. We are people who could talk. And one of them is from Mason Hall. Now he's a dark fella, but they just call him white here. I never understand the contrast. I don't understand the contrast. Now, I have known Whitey for quite a while. And you know, we have had our back and forth, but I never revealed who I was and what I was about. But Whitey, let me tell you tonight, that was to test your wits. As we say, I want to test your veracity. And I have verified and confirmed that you are a man for the people, a man who loves people, and a man who loves Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, bring out the flag. Stand up. Help me as I welcome to the podium Mr. Whitey. Ian Whitey Pollard. Ladies and gentlemen, while Whitey is coming, I have a bank card in my possession, and there is a name on it. A lady by the name of Loreen Roberts. You can come right here and collect. And before you leave, you must get your TPP jersey. Thank you.
She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself.
Don't try to understand the meaning of the name. A pleasant good night to the Honorable Chief Secretary and Political Leader, Fali Chavez Augustine. Our Deputy Political Leaders, Dr. Faith Brebner, Ms. Natisha Charles Pantin, and Mr. Trevor James. The Chairman of the TPP, Ms. Ann Second, and the entire Executive, Secretaries and Assistant Secretaries. To the two candidates, Mr. Tomo, that just left us, and my partner, Brother Notsi, and the wonderful people of Mace Knoll and the TPP family. Now, I take politics as something very serious. Politics shapes your country, it shapes the lives of the individuals. And I learned in 2010, when I was the advisor to the minister, that leadership shapes consensus. So leadership that you have is what really shapes your country. There are a few things that I know well: sports, politics, real estate, and sometimes some accounts. Next year will mark 50 years that I've been involved in politics. And I really want to have a conversation with Tobago now. I'm not here to throw peacock and stuff like this, but for someone who have been in the vineyard for almost 50 years, this election is the most crucial election for Tobago and Tobagonians. And not just for us, but our future generation. You see, sometimes we see things happening around us and we don't know the reason why God is doing it. You see Guyana finding oil. You see Grenada finding oil. Every Jamaica, Tobago, they're piping away with oil. I am most certain that Brother Notsi, Joel Notsi Sampson, and Tomo is going to go down in Trinidad and represent us well. Because it's high time we determine It's high time we started determining a higher percentage of the budgetary allocation. Because we here tend to say that, and I'm saying this to wake up Tobagonians, that general election is not important. We like to say that we're going out and vote for the THA election. But the general election shapes what we get here as a budgetary allocation. So it is important that we send two persons down there that will stand up and fight and make our demands that we get a higher percentage of the budgetary allocation. The shortages we face here on the island as representatives, as assemblymen, or what we cannot deliver to you. I mean, all of us want to deliver to you, you know. You feel we want to sit down there in 4 years and just draw money? But how could we deliver if we don't have the budgetary allocation? I'm going to point out to some of these things later to show how wicked and evil the PNM is. You see, I got a quote from my good friend Pastor Beans. And not I said it, I'm going to read Ecclesiastic 10 verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Bread is made for laughter, and wine gladdens life, and money answers everything. A party gives laughter, wine gives happiness, and money gives everything. Now me say so, you know, the wisest man, a man of God's own heart, Solomon. So if this could be quoted in the good book, that money solves everything, why we have to settle for the little pittance they want to give we? This 4.03% of our budgetary allocation, when all the resources coming out from our marine space. The lack of funding is not making us able to deliver, as I said, and we need someone to go down there and champion that cause. In every division, we have to make serious cutbacks on all our priority projects. I'm in housing, the secretary in charge. And let me tell you something. We requested $58.5 million in 2023. They gave me $2 million. $2 million. $2 million. In 2024, we requested $14.28 million. They gave us $2 million. $2 million for housing. Now you know what is what is painstaking about that? The Ministry for Housing got $308,000 from October 1st to just before they called the election for housing in Trinidad. Millions. $308 million for housing. How could we deliver to the people of Tobago? This is why when we have the design build finance arrangement and persons come and they come with their own money, like I said while I was campaigning, I don't care who the hell come with the money. Once Tobagonians benefit from it. If the Tobago contractors cannot raise the money, let them do the subcontracting. But I am not going to sit in office and not deliver homes like the two my predecessors in the division of settlements, where one built 4 houses and the next one give away the same 4 houses 4 years later. That will never happen. As of this year, it is the intention of Secretary Kerr and I, we have 160 parcels to give away before December. The Chief Secretary is giving away another 100 parcels in Colon. We are going to give out 160 parcels of land this year from the Division of Settlements. And the Chief Secretary under the POSH program will give out 100 parcels in Colon also. There are 260 parcels of lands. But you see, they think that that is all. We all have some shortcomings in our division because what entailed before was contractors doing everything. So we don't have the kind of technical abilities in most divisions. So thanks to the wisdom of Fali Chavez Augustine, a housing company was formed. And I want to announce tonight that the RFP, request for proposal, went out on Monday to build 110 housing units in Riceland. We have Adventure. We have another 110 units going to be built in Adventure. And to the residents of Mason Hall, the RFP is going out, I think by Friday or Monday, that 50 parcels of land behind the works office would be developed and handed out before THA election. You see, you wouldn't believe. Buku development is 50 years old. And I could still find 10 parcels of land in Buku to give out this year. 50 years old this year. And I could still find lands to give out in Buku. Brothers and sisters, we have to start to prepare for our future generation. And we have made some changes where you have intergenerational mortgages. So we like, even though you have, and your children struggling, assist them. Because once you own part of your land, you own your heritage. We cannot afford to have persons coming and bite up and our children don't own part of their heritage. You see the shortage of funding. You see, we have the complaint because I usually watch the chats in the for the group chats. And I see some of our people here cussing this and do, that and do. Let me just give you an example. Division of Infrastructure. Development budget, $40 million to develop the island in this fiscal. But you know what's the wages for that division? Development wages, $41.5 million. So just the wages have all the money, so there's no money for development. So when you're all out there and you're crying and you want to beat us up, I mean, we're back broads, we got to take the licks, but we want you all to understand also, if we don't have the money, we can't do it. If we don't have the money, we cannot do it. So when Nazi and Tomo go down there and make that demand for at least 5 or 6% of the budgetary allocation, then we could be able to do things. You know what is striking? I have it here. My advisor gave it to me about a week ago. And you know they gave me, like I said earlier, $4 million in 2 years. The Express of the 24th of March 2012. The PP government, the same people that they're saying that we're not supposed to talk to or do anything, $108 million for Tobago housing, given by the People's Partnership government in 2012. So who really do like Tobago and Tobagonians? Who really do like Tobago and Tobagonians? If the People's Partnership government could give you $108 million in one fiscal for housing, and we have a Tobagonian as the Prime Minister and 7 other. No, he's from Diego Martin West, please. But we have 6 or 7 other Tobagonians in the House of Representatives, elected or selected, and nobody stands up in defense of Tobago. But yet they want to come and tell you, give him more time. Give him more time. Victor Wheeler, my first principal in high school, said, no more time to waste, no more time. We cannot give them any more time. It's time we have to vote them out and make sure that Tomo and Nazi sits in that parliament and bring justice to Tobago and Tobagonians. You know, in 2015, when there was a general election, the first meeting they had was at Spence Car Park. And I was passing because we had a meeting in Mount Grace. And I heard then Faris Al-Rawi talking about the land title problem in Tobago will be a problem of no in the past. To this day, 10 years later, not one land title arrangement have been fixed in Tobago. Not one, after 10 years in government. But I want to just say a few things, because I know my time is coming to an end. And here how wicked these people are. Dr. Hugh Vaughan Devines, whose mother represented Mason Moria on 2 occasions in the 80s as our representative. Hugh Vaughan was a counselor. He's one of the better pathologists on the island. You know, Hugh Vaughan had to leave and go up the islands to look for work because of PNM. You wouldn't believe what happened. They were owing Hugh Vaughan money. They were owing Hugh Vaughan money before he left and go up the islands. Wasn't paying him. You know, as soon as Hugh Vaughan's son Hans was selected as the representative for the Martin West, they pay Hugh Vaughan that same week of all outstanding monies owed to him. So how evil can you be? So if his son wasn't aligned with the PNM, so he would have had to just forego that, whatever they owe him. Whether it's $10, $100, he had to forego that. Because you're just wicked and malicious. But that soon will come to an end on the 28th of April, 2025. You know, I hear that the Nazi candidate is talking about this or that. No, I like to talk facts. Could you tell me anything of significance that this lady has done for Tobago or the portfolio which she held, tourism or sports? Sports was thriving under the PP government. Football, cricket, everything was thriving. Under this woman, everything just fall flat, just dead. Dead, nothing at all, at all, at all. We can't win medals, we can't do nothing. We can't even compete in some games because there's lack of funding. Nothing whatsoever. But I know Nazi is going to remove her. He may be the new Minister of Sports. And I know that sports will go back on the high that it was. Brothers and sisters, the PNM is like expired goods. You cannot use them anymore. We have to get rid of them. So I urge you, no matter what hang-up feeling you have about the TPP or the candidates, put that aside. On the morning of the 28th, go out in your numbers. Pull everybody out with you. Tomorrow don't have to worry about Mason or Morino. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. And I want that to echo or reverberate throughout the whole of Tobago. Because by the time 7 o'clock, 7:30, we must know that the 2 seats have gone to TPP on the night of the 28th. So for a brighter future for the young people, we have to go out there and vote in our numbers and make sure that we bring home victory on the night of the 28th of April, 2025. I thank you.
Give them the anchor, give them. We go give them the anchor, give them. Give them the anchor, give them. We go give them the anchor. The anchor world, the anchor world, the anchor world, the anchor world. And this trouble will be problems. This trouble, they will need protection. This trouble causes leaks for all of them. This trouble, the TPP. This trouble, we able and ready. This trouble, we looking for victory. This trouble, we Tomo and not see. This trouble, this trouble. The younger world, the younger world.
TPP people, I want to ask you a question. When something expires, where does do it? Where? Here's something when they expire, they can't even go in your bin. You have to pelt them down in Studley Park. What we gonna do with them? Burn them. Burn them. Let me tell you something. Let me tell all you something. Let me warn all you. All you coming here every night and waving flag. You know? I've seen all you in great numbers. But the election is not the day after the night. When is the election? And who are we voting for in the east? And down in the west? Secretary Pollard, I listened to you quite carefully. And I am more than impressed. But I want to give you the assurance. The allocation that you envisage will come. I have that faith that these people here tonight, and I call them as witness, that they on the 28th of April, 2025, will give to Joel Sampson in the west and Tomo in the east the mandate. Because, let me tell you, this thing is very simple, you know. You know, I listened to Tomo as he spoke, and he said, he read that excerpt from Mr. Robinson, and that is what I have been saying to you. It is not now this struggle started. Tobago's underdevelopment, neglect, and refusal to be properly financed and resourced did not start yesterday. It began in 1976, and whether we get into whether we go into government or not is inconsequential. Because in 1976, we had 2 strong representatives down in the parliament, and they brought the institution that we enjoy and love and call the Tobago House of Assembly. And I have no doubt, I have the faith that these 2 representatives will come to Tobago with basket of goodies. They will get for us the allocation we so richly deserve and for which we have been asking. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give them a very hearty round of applause. Wave your flag. Yes. Now, the one thing about TPP people, we are happy people, you know. Whenever there's a recession in Trinidad and Tobago, Tobago is hardest hit, you know. Whether you believe it or not, and naturally Tobago has an inflated economy of more than 30% in relation to Trinidad. So we know hard times and we are not afraid. So let me hasten and get back to the program. We have a whole session for you to get up and shake your leg and wave your flag, because one of we entertainers are coming. So tonight we have an entertainer among us. Culture B, you here? Come up front, man. Come up front. This is your time. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have some entertainment. Don't sit down in your seat. Whatever you feel to do, do it. You feel to get up and wave your flag, do it. You feel to hold on and dance, dance. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to clear the stage.
Check.
For Culture B.
Check. I hear you. All right. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Miss no good night. Nah, man, this is not TPP. Miss no good night. Watch now. Are you ready to vote out PNM? Who we voting for in the East? Who we voting for in the West? Watch now. I'm pushing all them fingers here. I said the cassette, I'm going to ram it. Hey, give me the East. Samsung for the West. TPP is the best. Are you ready? We voting TPP. Not that 1% party. Can't put me in slavery. Hey people, we voting TPP. All my people jumping because election morning is TPP. We voting, call it crab in a barrel. Gas price keep rising, but salary not changing. We fed up on the same thing, copy and equity thing. So, hey, are you playing crazy hour? Hey, all you feel is stupid hour. Hey, like grabbing barrel hour. Hey, let me see the blood, hey, all my people hands up, TPP people hands up. Pull on. Hold on, somebody say order. Hey, we're going to vote them out. But wait, hold on. What Champa really do for Tobago? Tell me what she do for Tobago. All I see they do is take away poor people land down in Bonaccord, down in Crown Point, and give them small money for their land, and then bring a 1% prime minister and tell you we have to vote for him. We are voting for him, you don't know why? Tell them why. Samsung for the West, TPP is the best. Watch everybody talk. We voting TPP, not that 1% party. Can't put me in slavery. All my people jumping because election morning is TPP. We voting, call me crab in a barrel. Gas price keep rising, but salary not changing. We fed up on the same thing, copy and a keep different. So, are you playing crazy hour? Hey, all you feel is stupid hour. Hey, like crab in barrel hour. All my people hands up, TPP people hands up. All my people hands up, TPP people hands up. Put it up. shut up, say we not voting him cause them who lead the border whooping. Look down cause them to come in. Hey, come over this, hey, sons over the west. TPP is the best. So, wait, are you playing crazy hour? Hey, are you feeling stupid hour? Wait, like having barrel over. And TPP people, all my people hands up. TPP people hands up. All my people hands up. TPP people hands up. Put them up, right up. Up, right up. We vote in TPP. Not that 1% party. Can't put we in slavery. We vote in TPP. Come on for this. Shout out for the West. TPP is the best. Best now, Whitey. Come on for this. Hey, shout out for the West. Hey, TPP is the best. Ram it. Oh God, I'm out. TPP people scream.
Maybe we voting for Nazi in the West. We've been waiting so long. So long I've been waiting for election. So long I've been waiting for voting in the polls. Yeah. So long I've been longing for redemption. TPP as we pumping, TPP as we voting. Come bring out the friend and them. We voting on PNM. TPP as we voting, TPP as we pumping. Come bring out the friend and them. We voting on PNM. Vote them out. Vote until you can't stop. Just bring out the family. We voting for TPP. Vote them out. Vote until you can't stop. Just bring out the family. We voting for TPP. It's a kind of feeling when all the flags waving and the whole crowd shouting, Tomo in this or nothing. It's a kind of feeling reality hit me and did not see the calling. So when all I come out to vote, we don't want about vibes wrong, yeah. When all I come out to vote, all we put is good vibes in, yeah. Cause election so nice and full of a real vibe. Let me tell you now, TPP we outside. TPP as we pumping, TPP as we voting. Come bring out the friend and them. We voting on PLN. TPP as we pumping, TPP as we voting. Come bring out the friend and them. We voting on PLN. Vote them out. Vote until they can't stop. Just bring out the family. We voting for TPP. Vote them out. Vote until they can't stop. Just bring out the family. We voting for TPP.
I want to sing our Oh Lord. Oh yes, look at people. Look at people. Now, I believe that people are listening to us on social media. I believe that people are listening to us by whatever media house might be carrying this. And they are hearing us from where we are. I want to extend an invitation. That ship, that red ship is sinking. The gas done. The oil done. And the captain has abandoned the ship. And ladies and gentlemen who are on that ship, you are in danger. We have room on ship TPP. I want to invite you with open arms. Come home to us. And we will treat you with the love that we give to each and every one of our members. Ladies and gentlemen, you are a lovely crowd tonight. And we are done yet, you know. We are done yet. There's a lady who is coming. The lady who holds the purse string in the Tobago House of Assembly. And I am certain, if she had entered a beauty competition, she would not have lost. She is royal. Now, my first encounter with that woman, we had it out, you know. We had it out. But you know, at the end, we ended our meeting with mutual respect respect for each other, and I have held that to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, TPP people, the Secretary of Finance in the Tobago House of Assembly, the beautiful, evergreen, Councillor Petal and Robert, help me to welcome her.
All aboard! TPP crew, we all are there. All are coming, come in.
TPP, 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 TPP.
When you hear the horn sound, all aboard the TPP ship. Tobago, this is your time now. All aboard the TPP ship. There is no need to worry. All aboard the TPP ship. We sailing with Captain Farley. All aboard the TPP ship. We sailing with TPP. Oh. Sailing, sailing. We're riding them with to the shore. In turbulence, rain or storm.
TPP family! I always wanted to say that. Good night to the Tobago's People Party, and special good night to 60,000 strong Tobagonians. Special good night also to the village of Mason Hall. Thank you for having me here tonight on the debut of my platform performance and appearance. Thank you very much, Mason Hall. And good night to those listening on our media platforms, Facebook, on the TV, and on the radio. Good night. Allow me to acknowledge in his absence, and I know he's listening, because he told everyone last night that someone will be coming to speak, so I know he's listening, to the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, the political leader of the Tobago People's Party. And we have 3 deputy political leaders that I want to acknowledge as well: Dr. Faith Brebner, Mrs. Natisha Charles Panton, and Mr. Trevor James. Allow me to also acknowledge the chairman of the party, Ms. Ann Natasha Second, and my colleagues. And I want to say a special good night also to the assemblyman for this area and environments, Mr. Ian Whitey Pollard. And tonight, the reason why I'm here is because of 2 esteemed gentlemen. The candidates and the representatives come April 29th, 2025. Joel Notsi Sampson and David Thomas. And I heard Mr. Chairman, thank you for the introduction. And this party is a party of people with respect. We respect Tobagonians. And I'll tell you something, the reason why I joined this party and this executive is because of the level of disrespect that I've seen to people of Tobago. I have 3 children in this country, in this island. And we have to take a stand for every single 60,000 persons in Tobago. Allow me to introduce myself. For those who don't know me, I am Petal Roberts, born and bred right here in Tobago. I grew up in Scarborough, and then I moved to Lowlands. I am first a woman of God. I believe in God. I have faith in God. And that's why I'm here too. I have faith and I have belief that Joel Notsi Sampson and David Thomas will bring this home for us on April 28th. I also have the awesome privilege of being a mother and a wife, and a prestigious role that I want to thank the political leader and the chief secretary for granting me the opportunity for becoming the Secretary of Finance, managing the economy and finances, even in these perilous times. But I'll tell you, don't lose hope. The reason why I'm here, I'm looking like this, is because I have not lost hope. It is challenging, it is difficult, and tonight I'll take you through what we have experienced and why we need to vote out the PNM and elect Joel Sampson and David Thomas as the representatives for Tobago to effect that change that we want to see here in Tobago. Tonight we're going to be talking about truth, facts, and figures. As Secretary of Finance, it is only fitting that I bring to your attention what we face, because I'm sure some of you are feeling the brunt of the minuscule allocations, that 4.3%, that $4.30 out of every $100 of revenue that we collect in this country that this Tobago is getting right now. Now, really and truly, we have been getting 4.3% for a very long time. And it seems to be a percentage that the PNM loves. You know why? They want to keep us down. They like the instability. They don't want development. They don't want movement. So if you recognize, it has always been 4.3% or somewhere thereabout. It's just about 30 cents or 20-something cents more than the bare minimum. And you know what that 4.03 represents? It really represents the percentage share of Tobago's population way back in 2000. That is 25 years ago. If a government with a ruling party wanted to move this island forward, they would have used the metric. The current metric is a percentage share of the population to the national population. And right now, based on the last study, the percentage population of Tobago to Trinidad is about 5.1%. And we did some calculations of what that would mean if we really saw that percentage and those monies coming to the Tobago House of Assembly. And I'm talking from 2022, when this administration came into office. So in 2021, the Tobago House of Assembly received $2.339 billion, and that represented 4.3% or somewhere thereabout. If they were fair, just, and reasonable, we would have been able to enjoy $2.754 billion, a difference of $414 or $415 million. In fiscal 2023, $2.736 billion. And if we were given the fair, just, and rightful percentage of a minimum of 5.1%, because that is the share of Tobago's population to the national population, we should have received $3.135 billion. So really and truly, the differential of about $400 million is what we would have enjoyed if they did things fair, true, and just. In fiscal 2024, $2.558 billion is what we were allocated. But as a percentage share of the national pie, we should have enjoyed $3.138 billion, a difference of $580.4 million. And in this fiscal, $2.58 billion is what they allocated us, 4.35%. And if we were given the fair, just, and true minimal percentage, we would have enjoyed $3,046,000,8, a difference of $465.8 million. So essentially, we have a significant shortfall that is due to us. And I'll tell you something. We may not be able to get back that money. But if we vote Joel and David on April 28th, I bet your bottom dollar that the minimum percentage that we will be entitled to will be 5.1%. Tonight I want to go back to fiscal 2022. That is the fiscal year when this administration came into office. I've been in this assembly for 16 whole years. And I'll tell you something, it's the worst treatment I've ever seen a central government give to a group of people. But I'll tell you something, what the enemy means for bad, God will turn it around for good. And I can tell you tonight, people of Tobago, what we are seeing here tonight, and when I'm finished here tonight, we will see a wind of change here. I want to take us back to fiscal 2022, when under recurrent, we received $2.075 billion. And when the Chief Secretary, the Honorable Chief Secretary, came into office, we had to do an assessment of the liabilities. And I'll share something with you tonight that I don't think I've shared it in. Good night. Testing. I don't think I've shared this enough on the media, but we have received or inherited the largest liability ever in the history of the Tobago House of Assembly. So when we talk about $2 billion and why they're not managing and why we can't do this and that, I'll disaggregate to you and explain to you why it is so difficult for us to do the things and treat with the socio-economic needs of Tobagoans. Now I'll tell you this. We inherited 800, and this is facts, and I have figures to back it up. $800 million in liabilities. Of that, 200 million represented recurrent expenditure. That means we owed gratuity, we owed security, we owed for catering, we owed for contracted services, we owed for all the utilities. That is what we inherited in December 2021, or what we call fiscal 2022. We also inherited $600 million in contractors that did a lot of paving and emergency works just before the elections. And I'll tell you something, the development budget of Tobago in that year was $264.1 million. So the debt was how much times more than the liability, more than the allocation? About 3 times more than the liabilities. How on heaven's earth are we able to settle those debts and satisfy the needs in the current year? It is indeed, and it was indeed, a difficult task. But we have overcome. We will overcome. And I'll tell you something. If this government, this central government, really cared about their contractors that they hired, they would have sent additional funding to cater and settle all these liabilities. But they gave us 264. And I want to talk to the contractors tonight who are listening and think that this administration is holding back. And we don't want to pay you. But the reality is we just do not have the funds. The reality is we have been allocated 264.1 in the first year. The second year, 300 million. The third year, probably about 200 and something, and then 205 in this year. How are we able to settle these liabilities? But the political leader, your political leader, and the chief secretary has been on our backs in the Division of Finance to ensure that at least we pay these contractors out of the minuscule development budgets that we have. We have since paid contractors, even though they are inherited, and we don't necessarily benefit from the development in this year by paying them. In the first year, fiscal 2023, we paid about $43 million to contractors out of a budget of 264. In the second year, fiscal 2024, we paid an approximate amount of $26 million to about 7 contractors. And in this fiscal year, we are still squeezing. We have an executive council fiat that we must pay contractors $25 million. I'm going to be very honest with you, it is difficult, but we will ensure that every citizen of Tobago, whether you be blue, red, black, because we are representing the people of Tobago, that you get a share of the minuscule, minimalist allocations from the central government to the Tobago House of Assembly. The reality is also, under the recurrent expenditure, that our employment cost is about 42%, and that's a fixed cost. We can't say we're not paying the staff in the Tobago House of Assembly. The current transfers and subsidies, and that's where we give financial assistance and financial support to our companies and to our non-profit organizations or assistance to sporting organizations or assistance to churches. That forms about 36% of our allocation and expenditure. It leaves us with a paltry 23% to take care of all the other development needs. And I haven't even touched URP and CPEP, where they give us a minuscule $18 million for URP and $9.2 million for CPEP. And we have to fund the difference. In URP, we have to find an additional $60 million, and in CPEP, we have to find an additional $23 million. But let me tell you, if you vote Joel Notzi Sampson and David Joseph Thomas, the wind of change will come where our allocations will represent what our socio-economic needs are, our rightful percentage share of the population. It will represent the respect for the people of Tobago. So, I want to bring another hurtful reality to the people here tonight. And this has to do with, it's not a loan, it's called bond financing. It's a liability that this administration has to bear. And it's a liability that the previous administration, in 2021, they went out to market, they sold government bonds for the amount of $165 million. That $165 was wiped out in 6 months. 6 months to pave the same roads that we currently drive on, and our cars are seeing the damages and feeling the repercussions of these roads that were paved in 2021. But I'll tell you this, people of Tobago, we are the ones that have to find that bullet payment of $165 million in 2027. This is a liability that we have gone to the central government and said, listen, it would be difficult for us to find that funding, to get that funding one time in one fiscal year. And you know what the Minister of Finance said to us? Your previous Secretary of Finance said that they will find the money. But this administration, this central government, have not been giving us the funding. But we have asked them to give us some funding to put into a sinking fund. And you know what they have done? They have not given us one red cent. But we are here to advocate on behalf of the people of Tobago. We have the information, and we give the backing to Joel Nutsi Sampson and David Thomas. So when they go down to the central government, to the parliament in Trinidad on April 29th, we will see an answer to this disrespect and these things that we have faced over the years. Numbers don't lie. Our development needs far outweigh what we have been seeing in terms of allocations. The previous administration also gave us some debts on the development side of $638 million for road paving. $638 million for emergency roads, emergency works, $206 million for road paving. And we are left to clean up that mess. We are left to stretch every dollar. We are left to serve the people of Tobago. And if this central government really cared, they would have released additional funding to us to ease these burdens. But instead, you know what they did? They ignored our cries. It's a calculated kind of neglect. We experience economic oppression, fiscal subjugation. We are experiencing something that we have never experienced before. But on April 28th, I expect that every single one of us will put the X by the anchor and vote Joel Sampson and David Thomas so that we can get out of this situation. Brothers and sisters, we need voices that will mind our business. Voices that will fight for Tobago. Not just sit silently as figureheads and toe party lines. But this party, we are representatives of the people of Tobago. And every cent owed to Tobago, we will ensure that every Tobagonian gets the dollar that is owed to them, with a minimal of 5.1% that we will be requesting. And we're hearing all kind of talk about we didn't support the autonomy bills. But if this administration wanted to give us 6.8%, they can give us now. We didn't even ask for 6.8% at the time. We asked in the last budget for 5.8%. But because they want to keep us hard-pressed, keep us down, keep us at a stagnant levels in terms of development, they have just continued to give us that 4.3%. On April 28th, I ask you, the people of Tobago, to vote for progress, vote for respect, vote for fairness, vote for representation, vote for David Thomas, vote for Joel Sampson, vote for a better Tobago, vote for the Tobago's People Party. The symbol is the anchor. Vote for Tobago's future. I love to see the sea of blue and the flags here, but I want to encourage you to bring out your mommy, your daddy, your neighbor, your friend. Because let me tell you something. If you do the same thing, the same way, you'll and expect a different result. We would be considered to be insane people. We are not insane people. We are right-minded people of Tobago. And when you go on April 28th, what we expect from you is that you will vote the anchor. Vote for a wind of change. Vote for progress. Vote for the Tobago's People Party. Vote for Joel Nutsi Sampson and David Thomas in the East. We are expecting you to come out, wake up early in the morning and vote, vote, vote the Tobago's People Party. I thank you.
Raw. Tobago People's Party. Yeah, we gonna take the East, we gonna take the West, and put the others to rest. TPP, yeah. David Thomas slew Goliath, Joel Samson slew the Philistine. TPP, yeah. The max, vote TPP, yes we voted to the max, hey. And when we voted, we voted to the max. Just vote TPP, yes we voted to the max. We must vote them out, we must vote them out. David Thomas in the East, yes we must vote them out. We must vote them out, we must vote them out. Joel Samson in the West, yes we must vote them out.
My people! My people! Talk all your mind. Talk all your mind. She charming, eh? The woman stand up here so and she let go some figures pan her with her. What a thing. Thank you very much, Secretary. One of the things that we are very sure about is that Tobago has been adversely underfunded by whom? Ole, don't do that, no man. Tobago has been badly underfunded by whom? Yes. We're not going to call them any name, but we want to tell them we have had enough. Enough is enough is enough is enough. And on the 28th, we are sending 2 people down the road. Who are they? We are sending Joel down in the west, and we're sending Tomo from up in the east. You understand? Now, don't be afraid if they sit not in government, because in 1976, Robinson wasn't in any government. Robinson was not in government in 76. He was in an ordinary parliamentarian, and what he achieved for Tobago is much more than the PNM achieved in 21 years. I cannot forget when that assembly was inaugurated on the 1st of February 2001, Mr. Robinson said to them, this assembly has no room for an opposition. It is like a horseshoe, and I wish it in no other hands but yours. I wish it to be in no other hands but yours. Tonight, I want to call on the people in Mason Hall. Wherever you are, we have room in the TPP for you. We need every child, every man, every woman, every boy, every girl. And let me just pause a minute to say to the people, those young people who are preparing for their C-Sec and CAPE exam, I wish you well, and the TPP wish you well, because we need you. Going forward, making Tobago the best little island on the planet. Every boy and girl. We need our masons, our engineers, we need our lawyers, our doctors, our teachers. We need all of you. We are depending on you. Tonight is a very special night. And I just want to introduce to you a man, and he has been making waves on social media. He has been making waves on social media. When the incumbent for Tobago East said to my candidate, he can't walk up a hill, the man responded and he blew she away. We are not going to repeat the disrespect because we are respectful people on this platform. And I am talking about no other person than Mr. Wayne Clark. Come, Wayne, come. Come.
Everybody must work.
I want to tell you something, right? I want to tell you something. I hear you just use a statement on when you come to this lecture, talking about you only meet standard 4. Stop that nonsense there. Because your delivery on this platform is so educational and so inspiring and insightful that tonight I bestow on you the degree in politics. You hear what I'm telling you? Stop that nonsense. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, TPP people, join me in welcoming Mr. Wayne Clark.
Everybody must work. Whoa, work. Everybody must work. Work harder.
Mason Hall, good night. Let me tell you something. Me, I come up here for this coal meeting, eh? Wave all your flag, get up, jump up, move around, because you know what? Warm up from now, because April the 28th, you're going to pull a muscle if you didn't practice. Let me recognize our political leader, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine, our deputy political leaders. Now, I just saying deputy political leaders because you see, all them long name, me able with that thing, I make a mistake and they say, against them. And I want to say a special good night to Whitey. I saying Whitey, I mean saying Mr. Pollard. You know what that man do? I say I wasn't telling all you, but they say you have to talk the truth. I talk after a lady who does got church. We decide to make fish broth. I come up with the banana nuts, he come with the potato. Whitey say you go get the fish. When we reach up here tonight, he say you forget Mason all again, oh see? Brothers and sisters, all that aside, I just want to tell you, let us remain focused. Let us remain focused on one thing and one thing only. We have to go to the polls on April the 28th and vote. Vote. Each and every one of you have a responsibility, and don't let go of that responsibility. It doesn't end at April 28th, because after April 28th, the work now starts. And we don't need you just in the political meeting and on April the 28th to vote. You must accompany us every step of the way with doing the work. Because sometimes it will mean that you have to put in more work and the salary wouldn't be attractive. But it means that we have to do that sometime in order to elevate each and every one of us. We have to sacrifice. Something has to give. But for now, let us focus on April the 28th. Let us focus on starting the work ahead. Let us focus on getting Joel Marcus Sampson into Port of Spain. Let us focus on getting David Thomas into Port of Spain. And the chief secretary didn't pick them by guess. The chief secretary picked men who does work. And you know, life is a funny thing. Joel, man, I got to tell them, man, although I didn't tell you, I will not tell them, I'm telling them. You know what the chief secretary find Joel? In a hole. Joel was down there fixing pipe. And you know, as humorous as that song, when Jesus was walking around looking for disciples, he find them in all kind of funny places, and he said, put down that and let us go. The chief secretary tell Joel, put down the wrench and let us go. We will go to Scarborough first at the legislature, and then we will go to Port of Spain. Joel, the first leg of your race was already run, and now you're going to take up the second leg to represent us with dignity, with honesty, and with excellence in Port of Spain. You have big shoes to fill. You notice I didn't say high heel. It's walking shoes you had to fill. You're going there to work. And if anybody try to rush you down, you know they like to pelt teacup in the tea room. Put some more in front. Put some more in front. When they sit some more, they ain't gonna try to pelt teacup. Our task. Change is a hard thing. Let us all accept that. Change is difficult sometimes. And sometimes when you're halfway along the road, you start asking yourself if this was the right thing to do. If this is the best thing to do. And you start looking back, but you know what has happened when you look back. You turn a pillar of salt. Well, we have enough salt from looking back from all them years. So we got to take that salt now and throw it on all them red crapo that coming around with to stop with from progressing Tobago's business. We have enough salt. Now, we have situations where we are dealing with some people who love to tell you about the law and the law and the law. I'm sure all of you could remember, they like to talk about the law. Well, I want to remind them tonight, the law says you must give the THA the money in block and on time, and you're breaking the law. The law says that you must treat Tobago equal, and you're breaking the law. The law says that you must respect each and every Tobagoan, and you have never done that. The law says that Tobago and Tobago's people should be equal standing with you, and you have never demonstrated that. But the law also says, you know, the law is a funny thing, eh? The law can't make me like you, but the law could make me leave you. And the law on April the 28th, we're going to leave all those people who have been keeping us behind. We're going to leave all those bad memories behind, because I am confident that with the Tobago People's Party, we will be forging ahead, looking and enjoying a new Tobago. We're going to enjoy a Tobago that we can stand up to dream and actually see those dreams come to play. We're going to enjoy a Tobago that we have representation like we never had before. We must enjoy a Tobago that says we must share in the spoils equally to our brothers and sisters on the other side. We deserve that. Don't settle for less. Don't let nobody make you feel less than you are. And in case they want to think that you're less than them, for years we have been slipping down a hill going nowhere fast. That is why we have what we have. We have the anchor. So Joel and Tomo's first duty is to anchor Tobago from the hill it's slipping down so fast. And we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around to success. Joel, you take up a big responsibility. And I want you to understand, this is not the time to turn around and run back. Because if you do, that is why I put in Tomo behind you. You see size? Don't be afraid. You have 60,000 people behind you. Tomo, you have 60,000 people behind you. All you notice are talking to Tomo still, eh? With the size of Tomo, is only half a he gone on the interview. Look, the next half day. So what we have to do come April 28th is very simple. It is very simple. Let's take this thing one step at a time. We're going to get up, we're going to go down to the polls, and we're going to vote. And we're going to vote for the anchor. If you're in the east, vote for Tomo. If you're in the west, vote for Joel. Because anyhow you turn them, the east or the west, out of all the candidates, our two is the best. Our two stand head and shoulders above the rest. So we have to give them that support. And our duty, in order for they to go and represent us, we have to make the first step by going and voting. Voting on the 28th to ensure that part of the journey is done. And we're going to step into a new chapter with Joel Marcus Sampson and David Thomas representing Tobago like we have never had representation before. We choose two working men. We didn't choose two. No, they don't catch me that. No, they want to say we didn't choose two good-looking men, but it's nice men too. Because nice men does work hard. We have two responsible people. And we're going to change the direction that Tobago has been going once and for all. You see, it can't be that you continue to put your foot on my neck and you're only releasing it a little every 5 years. And give me all kind of promise. And when I finally start to breathe and think, well, things got changed, I vote for you and you match me back and say 5 more, I'll give you a release. We have to stop falling for that. We also have to be very, very aware. This is the season, this week, this coming week will be very tempting, very trying. All kind of thing coming out. Audio tape. You know, all the audio tape, you know, I have a little godson. Me and all the little child was here in the tape, some new tape they released. And I hear the little boy saying AI. So even a little child know the trick they're coming with. Let us keep alert. Let us understand we have but a week plus to go. Let us understand that we have to take this momentum into April 28th. Let us understand that after the 28th of April, when the result is out, we're going to celebrate. Give me a little wave there. Let me make sure that we yes. But let us also understand as responsible Tobagonians, after we vote, after we celebrate, we have to put our heads down and work. It's the only way Tobago could surface again. They could give us the biggest allocation, and we choose to be unproductive, we will find ourselves right back here in the same position and even in a deeper hole. Each and every one of us have a responsibility, and you have to do your part as much as you want them to do their part. Each and every one of us have to do our part. Only when we do our part, then we could rest assured that my duty is done and it's unto you, David, Thomas, and Joel Sampson. It's a relay. And the chief secretary of Tobago, I ain't saying no Tobago House Assembly, is the boss in Tobago. Because if he wasn't the boss, he couldn't say mind your damn business. The chief secretary of Tobago continue to have big shoes to fill. And he has shown that he can fill those shoes. The chief secretary has shown that he can be creative. Each and every member of that executive council has demonstrated creativity for the past 3 years. That is why we could sit here today with hope that we could have a brighter tomorrow. Let us understand and appreciate the strain that this administration keep functioning under. Let us understand and appreciate that we went into our assembly inheriting a debt that if we attempted to pay it off, it's going to take 3.5 years, and our term is 4 years. So we have to take it piece by piece by piece. The same people who run up the debt is the same people going wrong in the back and choking the contractor and tell them make noise for your money. These people are wicked beyond a reasonable doubt. But no need to come up here and say how wicked they are, because April the 28th, we're going to show them that we have a purpose to get rid of all the wickedness, that we have a purpose to put Tobago on a new path, that we have a purpose to send Joel and Tomo down to Trinidad. That I say 2 seats, they want to tie you up now and telling you all kind of foolishness, but 2 seats can't make a difference. If 2 seats can't make a difference, how we get the Tobago House of Assembly? Was they in government? Was Robinson and Murray in government? It could very well be that there wasn't, because we 2 Tobago seats was 2 big seats. It was bigger than all the seats them in Trinidad. And listen, don't let nobody tell you no foolishness about Tobago can't make no difference. And we got you all of that, and we know all of that is nonsense. Right? When our Prime Minister, and Tobagonians could take pressure, when our Prime Minister was under siege in 1990, what you tell them? And that is what we're going and do on April the 28th. I want each and every Tobagonian to raise your finger, attack them with full force. And we're going to attack them in the east. And we're going to attack them in the west with Joel Nazi Sampson. We're going to attack them all over Tobago. We're going to attack them, brothers and sisters. And we will not just back until victory is won. We have to get victory on the 28th. We have to get victory. And you cannot get victory. You cannot get victory by waving flag in the night. You get victory by coming out and vote. Raising flag is good, but we have to vote. We have to take the fight to Port of Spain. We have to take the fight to the PNM. We have to attack them with full force. Raise your flag if you want to attack. We have to attack them. We're going to attack them in the east, and we're going to attack them in the west. We're going to attack them all over Tobago, and we're going to run them out of Tobago once and for all. Each and every Tobagonian, raise your flag and attack them with full force. Attack them on the 28th. Attack them for Joel. Attack them for Tomo. Attack them for Tobago. We have to attack. We have to go on the attack. It's no more nice boy and nice girl thing. That ain't working. 21 years a nice boy and nice girl thing, and look what we did today. Sit down regretting in which year. I said stop the damn niceness and go and attack. Attack them in the east. I say attack them in the west. We had to attack. We had to attack, brothers and sisters. We cannot win this battle by sitting back and playing nice. We had to attack them. We had to take the fight to them. We had to take the fight. We had to put the PNM out of the misery once and for all. And the only way we could do that is to take the fight to them. We have to attack them. I said we go attack them. We go attack them. Raise your flag and let we attack them. We have to attack them tonight. We go attack them tomorrow night. We go attack them until the 28th. We go attack them, brothers and sisters. We go attack them. And I know after we attack them, victory will be ours. Victory will be ours. There is no easy way to kill off a persistent opponent. There is no easy way to take power from someone who had it so long and believe they are entitled to it. But I have news for them. Each and every Tobagonian here tonight demonstrate that we are afraid you again. Each and every Tobagonian here demonstrate that come April the 28th, is not to tell me he go Sunday school, though say certain thing on stage, so I ain't saying that. But each and every Tobagonian have a responsibility. Remember, you have to attack them, and you have to attack them by voting. Vote for Nazi in the West. Vote for Tomo in the East. On the night of April the 28th, you had to pass, you're leaving Charlottesville to head down the road. When you reach Pembroke and he had this cultural place where you just do all them cultural dance by the Pembroke place, you could stop there and do a little dance. Joel is 1 week after Easter. You could come up with a goat. Because it's 2 goats we had in the parliament. How we gonna ride them goats? We gonna use them goats to get down the road. I said we had to use everything at our disposal to get rid of these people once and for all. It's no nice thing, it's no stush thing, it's just a straight thing, an April the 28th thing, that we're gonna vote and we're gonna win and we're gonna ensure that Tobago made the first step to becoming the greatest little island on the planet. Attack them! Attack them! Raise your flag and attack them! Thank you, brothers and sisters. I love you. Good night.
Joel, you understand the message? You understand the mandate? Tomo, you understand the mandate? It is simple, you know. Now, the PNM has always advocated that they want a PNM Tobago House of Assembly. And a PNM House of Assembly in Tobago with a PNM central government, prosperity will come. I want to ask you a question. Did any prosperity come in the last 21 years? Now, we do not want necessarily a central government in Port of Spain, but we want to ensure 2 things. 1, a stable and progressive Tobago House of Assembly with two powerful voices in the national parliament. That's what we want. What we want is that when the Tobago House of Assembly collaborates with its parliamentary representative, the cries of the people in Tobago can be echoed in the hallowed walls of the parliament. That is what we want. That is what we are talking about. It is, no, you hear Mr. Clark? He said it's not niceness, you know. No, I mean, I can speak the Queen's English if I so desire. But this time I want to tell you, we are caught in a warfare now. Easy street comes by and by. We don't want to talk nice necessarily. We want our message to be loud and clear to all the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago needs an equal share of the national pie. The issue of Tobago's development has been in our ears for eons, and nobody has evinced any desire, not the PNM of which they are the least, of any desire to develop Tobago. It is not in their best interest. We want to be able to produce more scholarship winners. We want to be able to ensure that our boys and girls can go to university and succeed. That is the mission. So, Joel, I hope you understand what we are saying. And I know you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us wave our flag for Mr. Clark because he is the arouser. Yes. Mr. DJ, give me a little thing. Give me something there. Give me something for Mr. Clark. On your come. They say I just cut off the music too quick, you know, but we have a whole segment down below there for music tonight. Bear with me a little bit, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Samson, the strong man. And you know, every time I hear him speak, I am so impressed more and more. And I can tell you that when he speaks, you can hear the genuineness coming out of his soul and his bowels. And I have no fear and I have no other desire than to hear you deliver your speech in the parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to join me. Please, I beg you. With flags waving and people standing, Joel Sampson, the candidate and representative for Tobago West. Mr. DJ, give me something to bring on Mr. Sampson.
Good night, Mason Hall. Good night, Tobago East. Good night, Tobago West. Good night, TPP family. Allow me to recognize our political leader, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine. Our deputy political leaders, Dr. Faith Brebner, Natisha Charles Pantin, Trevor Williamson James. Also allow me to recognize our party chairman, Ms. Ann Natasha Second. Other executive members of the TPP. Allow me to also recognize my colleague, David Joseph Thomas. Last but not least, you the wonderful people of Mason Hall. Good night. Today, I carry the spirit of a fallen comrade, my videographer, a young, talented Tobagonian who walked this path with me. He believed in the mission. He saw the vision. And though he's gone, his legacy strengthens my resolve. We press forward for him and for all those who believed in a better Tobago. We lost a good one today. Rest in peace, Leandro. Every generation must choose to settle for survival or to fight for liberation. And Mason Hall and Tobago East and Tobago West, what are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? The journey to self-determination is never easy, but it is necessary. This campaign is not just about votes. It's about vision, about freeing our people from dependence, disrespect, and deliberate underdevelopment. Brothers and sisters, let me examine what this election is about. A Tobago election decides who run the local government, the Tobago House of Assembly. A general election decides who sits in parliament and who governs the entire country, including Tobago. Those on the other side want you to be confused, because if you don't understand the stakes, you won't hold them accountable. So they will try to come and hoodwink you and talk about why they didn't fix this drain and why they didn't fix this road. I say to them, why didn't you give us an increase in allocations so we could have get it done? Let me make this clear. This election is not about the Chief Secretary. It's about your member of parliament. Let me repeat that again. This election is not about the Chief Secretary. It is about your member of parliament. Why your MP matters? Brothers and sisters, your MP should be your chief advocate, your boldest voice, your fiercest fighter, your top negotiator, your national level watchdog, your first line of defense, your sharpest defender of Tobago's interests. It is not the job of an MP to hand out grants and bring programs or encourage their colleagues to disregard the THA Act, which governs you. In fact, it is illegal to do so. Your MP's role is to secure Tobago's fair share of national funding, protect the constitutional authority of the THA, and challenge the disrespect, delay, and discrimination from central government. But for 10 years, we have had the exact opposite. And on April the 28th, we are saying enough is enough. Your time is up. And talking about time, I see my goodly colleague here, the Secretary for Education, in the house. And I am asking her to place 2 clocks on the island, one in Tobago West and one in Tobago East. And these clocks, the time is not counting up, it's going to count down. Because your examination, their examination as members of parliament for Tobago East and Tobago West is almost over. And at the end of that examination on April 28th, it will be stamped fail. And you know, when you fail at CXC, you could repeat, it had no repeat here. So don't let it come and ask you for 5 more years. 5 more years to do what? Nothing. Let's examine the minister's record. 10 years, 2 ministries, no impact. As Minister of Tourism, 2015 to 2018, the minister gave us a flawed sandals MOU, signing away your future with no transparency. The minister facilitated unfair land acquisition in Crown Point. When you think about the injustice, the evil done to those persons within my electoral district, the unfair acquisition, the monkey money, the crumbs that they pay to these persons to relocate and to restart a life in 2021, that is unfair. Giving a man $300,000 for his property, what can that do in this day and age? You could barely get a foundation for that. But that is what they did to Tobagonians. And then they come and they rush to open an airport terminal that is incomplete and run to put plaque opened by the honorable. I don't want to call the name because calling the name is giving them advertisement. So we're going to leave it at that. Right? While people suffering and trying to rebuild their lives, I understand man are go living in sheep pen with air conditioned unit. The minister did nothing for the air bridge to increase flights or set up a much needed Piaco in transit desk. The minister allowed Tital's budget to drop from 60 million to 41 million, while the prime minister's entertainment budget increased. The minister sat quietly while Tobago's tourism marketing was undercut. That's just a few. I now go to Minister of Sport and Community Development. Pure failure. Nothing to show. Just poof. Athletes are funded after competition, not before. When you give an athlete money when they return, that doesn't assist them. The assistance and support is needed for preparation to participate in any competition. And once an athlete is properly prepared, they succeed. But if you look at the past few years, what has become of our athletes? Failure, failure, failure. No national sport policy, no elite development structure. $30 million wasted on the Dwight York Stadium, and it is still unsafe and unusable by our athletes, but yet they boast about it. The minister said nothing when Rowley announced another cricket stadium, but Tobago got none. That is 10 years, zero transformation, no bold advocacy for Tobago. And I say to you, Tobago and Mason Hall, come April the 28th, we must vote them out. The truth, brothers and sisters, the Tobago House of Assembly does not control the treasury. Central government decides how much Tobago gets, when, and for what. So when persons sit down in Port of Spain, sit down in a national parliament and decide, we will give Tobago this, without any consultation with the residents, with the residents of Tobago, with the Tobago House of Assembly, we are saying that is disrespect. How do you know what we need in Tobago when you sit in Port of Spain and just make decisions? Who are you making decisions for? They withhold or delay funding if they don't like who the people elect. And it was clearly shown over the past 3.5 years. Because after they were voted out of office on December the 6th, 2021, they have continued to stymie Tobago's progress. And I want people to not forget. You all remember when the then Prime Minister said, if you vote for these people, what he said? He said, we're going to suffer. It's like telling the Tobago House of Assembly to build a house without bricks, without tools, without permission. Brothers and sisters, this is what it looks like on the ground. In healthcare, we can't upgrade hospitals without the Ministry of Health. For roads and infrastructure, projects stall because central government's untimely release of funds. In agriculture, export support and licensing are sidelined by national agencies. So when you hear this saying, the THA mismanaging, ask, who is holding the purse and not allowing us enough funding for our development programs. Let's be clear, brothers and sisters. This election is about respect and representation. If Tobago keeps sending people to the parliament who won't stand up, we will keep being sidelined. We need independent, fearless MPs who will fight for Tobago, because the THA alone cannot fix this system. So come April the 29th, when David Joseph Thomas and Joel Marcus Sampson walk in the national parliaments as members of Tobago East and members of Tobago West, we shall get that representation that we have been lacking. And I want all you to remember something. We're in the Easter season. And this is the week that Judas had betrayed Christ. And we have seen how they have betrayed Tobago over and over. And they will continue to betray us. But hold the fort. The anchor holds, for resurrection is coming on April the 28th. April the 28th is a chance for us to reset our lives. This is bigger than party, bigger than personality. This is about our power, our progress, and our future. Let us stop the blame game. Let's stop the confusion. Let us vote for people who will defend Tobago, negotiate boldly, and fight for our fair share. The time is now. Let's take Tobago forward together. Bright and early on the morning of April the 28th, wake up your house, wake up your neighbors, wake up your friends, because we have work to do. We have a battle to fight for our children and grandchildren. We have to finish the work of Robinson and Murray, and we need 60,000 strong soldiers in order to do so. March to the polling station, where your fingers will be your sword. We will jam the X by the anchor. Jam the X by the anchor and declare victory for all of Tobago. So come the 28th, grab your mommy, grab your tanty, grab your nene, grab your brother, grab your sister, grab a neighbor, and head out to the polls early and vote for David Joseph Thomas in the East and Joel Marcus Sampson in the West. Make us your new members of parliament as we go down there and make representation. Represent you like you have never seen representation before. And we shall realize that dream of making Tobago the greatest little island on the planet. I thank you.
Give them the anchor, give them. We go give them the anchor, give them. Give them the anchor, give them. We go give them the anchor. This election is trouble. Will be problems. It's trouble. They will need protection. It's trouble. Cause it's leaks for all of them. It's trouble. The TPP. It's trouble. We able and ready. It's trouble. We looking for victory. It's trouble. We Tomo and not see. It's trouble. It's trouble. Yanga.
Well, boy, nearer my God to thee. Nearer my God to thee. This is it. This is it. This reminds me of that night in September 1976 when Tobagonians flooded the streets from Charlottesville to Scarborough celebrating the victory of the DSC. Some of you were not yet born, but those of us who were around can tell you it was a momentous occasion. I want to ask the PNM in Mason Hall, I told you tonight and I invited you to come join us. Because there is nothing that can make you win. We have room, so don't be afraid to join us. Now, I have a little spot here, Mr. DJ. I don't like all you sitting down. I don't like all you sitting down. I want to give an opportunity. Mr. DJ, this is your time. You have 5 minutes. Get up, get up, get up, wave your flag.
Get them the anchor, get them. We go get them the anchor, get them. Get them the anchor, get them. We go get them the anchor. The anchor was, the anchor was, the anchor was, the anchor was. This election, this trouble, will be problems. This trouble, they will need protection. This trouble, cause it's licks for all of them. This trouble, the TPP. This trouble, we able and ready. This trouble, we looking for victory. This trouble, we come and not see. This trouble, this trouble. The anchor was, the anchor was, the anchor was. It's mixed up in Charlatan. It's trouble all the way to Patience Hill. It's trouble when you reach Castara. It's trouble TPP take over. It's trouble go and tell Shamfa. It's trouble make sure you call Ayana. It's trouble with me voting finger. It's trouble the time will be over. It's trouble. It's trouble. It's trouble. It's trouble. Get them the anchor. Get them. We go get them the anchor. Get them.
White day, wobbling in settlements, boy. Niall George, that graveyard causing trouble up in town, boy. Oh Lord.
TPP meeting, you're sure to have fun. PNM people, all you come and say we having fun. Come and see how they just keep meeting. Come see people. But while we having fun, I want to remind you, what is the symbol? I hear you, man. What is the symbol? Yes. And the anchor? Priscilla J. Owen said that. Will your anchor hold in the storm of life? We have an anchor. Ladies and gentlemen, if I were to ask you, did you have fun tonight? Did you get the message which was delivered? Yes. What you have to do on the 28th? Who we voting out? Now, this is a straight fight between the PNM. And the PNM, I am told, has a sub-PNM, you know. The PNM, I am told, has a sub-party. But, you know, I'll tell you something. The support here is so overwhelming that not even the sub-party can create any diversion. We will deviate not even one fraction of an inch from the goal, and that is to make Tobago the best little island on the planet. Don't forget that. Now, who is the leader of the TPP? He is young. He is bright. He is driven. He is God-fearing. He is God-fearing. And above all, he is fearless. They throw him in the lion's den, and he came out unscathed. They throw him in the furnace, and he came out unburnt. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief Secretary, and I want to make a prediction tonight. I want to make a prediction tonight. Mark my words. Just as they called on Robinson to lead this country, I will not be surprised if the call is made for Fale, Chavez, Augustine to lead Trinidad and Tobago one day. I know what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, a man from Speyside who went to Bishop's High School, succeeded and predicted his taking of the office that he now holds. I want you to help me. Lift him, hold his hand, bring him. Our Chief Secretary, our political leader, the fearless one, ladies and gentlemen, TPP people, welcome, help me to welcome our Chief Secretary and political leader.
A week but I'm holding on in order to stay around in a life therapy imbalance. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price little one must pay to keep the big one in paradise. It's torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's heyday. So they will right the wrong and the master play.
Good night, TPP family. Good night, Mason Hall. Good night, Punch Bowl. It's good to see so many of you out here tonight. We're waxing warmer and warmer. Come on, let's make some noise for our two candidates, David Joseph Thomas and Joel Marcus Sampson. Let's make some noise for them tonight. It's good to see so many of you out here so excited tonight. Now before I get into the message, I was asked to do a paid announcement. So know that they have to pay me. I was told that this hoodie that they gave me for free is so I can advertise that they are selling the hoodies. And so you can check in with Assemblyman Hackett or Assemblyman Morrison or any of those ladies, Tasha from Castara or Mariah, whichever party you want to call her from, and you can get the hoodies in the different party colors. Now understand that this is a party that is from the ground up. And all the things you see is we have to pay somebody for them. So we actually owing plenty people and trusting things from plenty people. And we selling cup and hats and hoodies and umbrella and soup on Saturdays and all sorts of things so we can raise the funds for this movement. Because unlike the other big party who does benefit from kickback from contractors to fund their campaign, we fund our campaign from the people of Tobago and ourselves. So I want you to make some noise for yourself. Tobago people, make some noise for Tobago people. Tonight I want to talk to you about 2 or 3 things, and I promise you I won't keep you as long tonight as last night. So I'm mindful of the time. But I want to start by defining Tobago tonight. And the reason I want to start by defining Tobago is because at the heart of this question of Tobago's autonomy, it's about how we should really define Tobago and whether or not that definition should be in the law and whether or not Tobago and Tobagonians should have legal authority over that space defined as Tobago. I heard sometime today that a darling friend of mine was crying down the place, but the last time she cried, they almost lose all seats. So we won't make much of that. I want us to speak to where the facts are. The fact is that one, we in the Tobago House of Assembly, we cannot pass any laws ourselves in order to change the Constitution. In order for there to be constitutional reform, the National Parliament must pass it into law. So it cannot happen at number 1 Jerningham Street, where we meet every fourth Thursday in the month. It can only happen at the Red House, which stands opposite to Woodford Square. Another fact is that in a parliament with 41 elected representatives, Tobago has a significant minority, which is 2. We only have 2 members guaranteed to be in the parliament of 41. Anyhow we swing it, we only have 2 members of parliament. When it comes to senators, that's up to the president, the prime minister, and the opposition leader. The Tobago House of Assembly, nor anyone in Tobago, has any legal authority to appoint anyone to the Senate. Why am I starting there? I'm starting there because you have to understand that the matter for constitutional reform can only have some sort of success if it happens in the parliament down in Trinidad. We could talk all we want up here. We could send down all we want from Tobago to Trinidad. If the national parliament does not take up the matter in the way Tobagonians want it to be taken up, it will never happen. And so the starting point for us is from April 28th. Because from April 28th or the 29th, after we have successfully voted David Joseph Thomas and Joel Marcus Sampson is that we can in fact begin to send proper advocates in the national parliament to stand up and stand strong on our behalf. The reality is, in a country of about 1.4 million, 60,000 is also a minority. And so in the entire country, if we look by definition of geography, Tobagonians in fact make up the minority. We are not the larger of the two islands, and we do not have the larger population. And so it has and will always be an uphill battle for Tobago to get what Tobago wants. Let me be clear at the top, Tobago People's Party is not what Farley wants. It's not what my darling friend Ayana wants. It's not what PNM wants. It's what the people of Tobago wants. And it cannot be that you believe in a dictatorship so much that you want to cry crocodile tears because you can't get what you want while denying Tobagonians what Tobagonians want. It must be what Tobagonians want. It's not even what I want. It's what the people of Tobago want. And the sad reality is that we have a group of Tobagonians, some much more elder than I am, who somehow think that they have a copyright on this autonomy conversation and that their ideas and their ideas alone must work. But that's not the majority of Tobagonians. What must go through the parliament must be what the majority of Tobagonians want. This is a democracy. It is not a dictatorship. So our ex Keith Rowley, he had no right to decide for us, to give us what he wants. Camille Robinson Regis, who chaired that parliamentary committee, she had no right to decide to give us what she wants. The PNM had no right to decide to give what they want and take out what they don't want. What Tobagonians want must be what constitutes the constitutional reform required for an autonomous Tobago. And what is passing strange in all of this is that a PNM THA went around this entire island. They pull out Troy Charles, they pull this one, they pull that one. I think Ashwood Jack dropped out at some point. And they sent down to the parliament a weighty document that essentially outlined what Tobagonians said that they wanted. Granted, some of the same Tobagonians who contributed to that process later on changed their mind and want other things. But at least the views of Tobagonians were sent to the parliament. And to our surprise, notwithstanding, or rather not my surprise, but perhaps to your surprise, notwithstanding PNM Tobago and PNM Trinidad decided to take out what they don't want, put in what Tobagonians never said they wanted, and present a bill to the people of Tobago. In 2021, just before the THA elections, they brought that bill. And Tobagonians voted overwhelmingly against that bill and voted the PNM out of office in Tobago. Before the ex-prime minister decided to mash up his own party in his true PNM dictatorship style, he decided he would drop a Tobago bill last minute and ram it down Tobagonians' throat and say, take it or leave it. But we are proud people. We are not his children. This is a democracy. This is not a take it or leave it scenario. This is about providing what's best for the people of Tobago. And I understand what their fear is. Because their fear is that an autonomous Tobago will outshine every other island in the world. Their fear is that an autonomous Tobago will create the greatest little island on the planet. And to be the greatest little island on the planet, we have to be greater than other islands, including our neighbor island. And that is their ultimate fear. And so they will forever try to pigeonhole us into only accepting that which is substandard and that which does not represent what the people of Tobago said that they wanted. And so tonight I want to treat with this definition of Tobago, because that perhaps is the most contentious of the issues. And when former Chief Secretary Mr. London sent that bill down to Parliament, this is how it defined Tobago. It says that Tobago shall comprise the island of Tobago, Little Island, St. Giles Island, Marble Island, Goat Island, Sisters Island, and other offshore islands, and the archipelagic waters lying landward of the established strait baselines, the 12-mile territorial sea measured seawards from the said baseline, as well as the inland waters equidistant between the island of Trinidad and the island of Tobago, and to the extent of the territorial sea of Trinidad and Tobago, and the superjacent airspace above these aforementioned maritime areas and over the land space. That is the most thorough definition of what belongs to Tobago. Whether they like it or they don't like it, this is Tobago. And this is what Tobago brings to the country, that is Trinidad and Tobago. And every bit of resource, include hydrocarbons, that comes out of this space is part of Tobago's contribution to the national purse. So when they stand up and they tell you that they don't contribute nothing to the national purse, tell them that they lie. When they tell you that you are only beggars, begging after every budget for more money, tell them that you are a worthy contributor to the national purse and you deserve equity and a better and a justified share from the national purse. Tell them that. And so these guys presented bills to the Parliament that, while in some ways it attempted to pull from this definition, it gave Tobago no authority in our maritime space. Now watch this for a moment. The current Tobago House of Assembly Act gives the THA up to 6 miles under its purview, under its administrative purview. And all of a sudden they are saying it won't be legal according to international law to give the Tobago House of Assembly authority over the maritime space. That means that if we want to put on a marine park, we have to go to Trinidad and ask somebody. That means if we decide to go out in the Atlantic and put down some wind turbines, we have to go to Trinidad and ask somebody. That means if we want to manage our fish stock in Tobago, they want we to go to Trinidad and ask somebody. And I'm telling you, Tobago and Tobago People's Party, we will not accept any legislation that does not give the people of Tobago authority over its full space. And let me hasten to qualify it, because I know they like to misrepresent what is said. This does not mean that Tobago is asking to end up in a conflicting position with international neighbors, because Tobago has never asked for authority over international relations. This does not mean that the THA will pass laws conflicting with the national parliament, because at the base of devolved responsibility is ensuring that the devolved authority or the local authority does not pass laws that contradict what happens at the center. That is basic. And so giving the THA authority is not so that the THA will pass laws that are at odds with the national parliament, but it's so that the THA can pass laws for the economic survival and growth of the people of Tobago. Because right now, you are limited. You are restricted. Anything you want to do in our waters is somebody in Trinidad had to come up to give it to you. And when you try to do something on this 116 square miles, somebody from Trinidad still had to come up. We have said to them, we want tongue and country planning back in Tobago. Tongue and country planning must come back in Tobago. The THA Act says that we must be the executing agency. But you know what they have done? The last letter I got from the line minister said, essentially, go and ask the Prime Minister. And this is after we sat down with the line minister, we sat down with the PS in the Ministry of Planning, we sat down with all of the heads in town country planning, we sent our lawyers down to Trinidad, the Parliamentary Council sat down with our lawyers, we examined the THA Act, and we came to the conclusion together that it must be the THA to execute. On the back end of that, they refused to send the town country planning up. And so simply write in their letter, for these matters, you have to inquire of the Prime Minister. But who was the Prime Minister? A man that belongs in the electoral district of Mr. Pollard. And so I will blame Mr. Pollard because he has some bad behaving members of his electoral district. And some members of his electoral district that don't represent his Tobagonianness well, and who prefers to sell us out and sell us out to his friends in Trinidad as opposed to standing on behalf of the people of Tobago. And that is why I have no fear about sending David Thomas and sending Joel Sampson to the National Parliament, because I need people who will stand up on behalf of the people of Tobago. What kind of island can we have if we don't have the authority to do what we need to do on the island? That every Monday morning you have to ask somebody down the road permission to dig a hole in your own yard. If it is town and country planning, reject your proposal, reject your design. To appeal it, you have to catch a plane, fly down to Trinidad, go central and appeal it. And it might take you 6 or 8 months to get it back. What kind of development can we have on the island with that? If a foreign investor wants to buy land here or to develop anything here, it's not the THA involved. We are no say. It's the Minister of Finance that decides whether a foreigner could invest millions in Tobago or not the THA. And we are sitting down here comfortable as though we okay with that. I'm saying Tobago, we should have riot long time. But we have an opportunity come the 28th of April to riot with our index finger and to juke them out of office and to sink the X by the anchor. That's what we have to do. That could never be fair. It could never be equal. That a man in South could catch a car, catch a PTSC bus, and get to where he needs to get to appeal a case before town country planning. And you have to leave your island and go to a whole other island to get it done. How can you tell me that that is what autonomy should look like? And for all of those who talking up as though they are champions of autonomy, there are many things that the Tobago House of Assembly gives the THA authority for, that they have been trampling upon it, especially in the last 3 years, and disrespecting the THA Act over the last 3 years, and disrespecting the THA, and disrespecting your elected officials. And I'm telling you, you must exact some punishment upon them. Because if it's one thing we believe in Tobago, is that we should not spare the child and spare the rod and spoil the child. And so it's time to perhaps set those two spoiled childs straight by giving them some good political licking so that they understand what it means to be Tobagonian. Every Tobago child has to struggle. Every Tobago child has to struggle with the reality about whether or not he is inferior to his colleagues in Trinidad. In the mind of every Tobagonian child, he's trying to figure out, she's trying to figure out, can I compete? Do I have what it takes? Why am I so nervous when I'm among them? Why am I not being given the opportunity? Why when there is a national sport team, we could barely get one on the team? They won't keep any trials in Tobago. The training not in Tobago. And we always on the sticky end of the stick. I ain't asking you. I was a teacher, and I once had a young man under my charge, selected to be on a national under-15 football team. And every single weekend, we had to buy our own ticket, carry him down to Trinidad to train, find place for him to stay for overnight camp, feed him. And not only that, when you go, you see Trini families as they should, park up by the training ground. All the food in the back of the vehicle. They open up their SUVs. The whole family watching and cheering on. And I'm saying, is this one country? At which point will Tobago be recognized as equal to? You see, it's more than what we say, it's what we do and how we do it. And if it is our young people, year after year, still have to struggle and fight up in order to be in the same lane as their colleagues in Trinidad, that could never be equality. That could never be what a unitary state means. That could never reflect the relationship of two sisters. Clearly we are treated like a bastard child. Clearly we are treated like the outside pitney. And I'm saying that comes to an end come April 28th. They will have to respect us as equals. They have to respect us as equals. In this election, it's about you taking back your power. It's about you understanding that you have gold. The Seesaw Church Charles used to say we have gold and gone looking for brass. We must know our worth, know our value, and understand and appreciate that we are in a cause that is a just cause. It's not an unjust cause. And for those listening, including those in Trinidad, this is not an anti-Trinidad campaign. This is just a pro-Tobago campaign. This is just a I love Tobago campaign. This is about the 60,000 strong in Tobago. There is no hate or love lost for you. This is about loving yourself and loving the castles of the skin that we are in, and understanding that we have what it takes to make Tobago the greatest island on the planet. That's what it's about. It's about empowering the youngsters in our school system to understand that when they jump on the plane to compete with their Trinidad colleagues, that they are equal to. They are equal. That they're not less than. And we have to drive that out of the psyche of our young people. Because you see that same young man, you know what happened to him, unfortunately? He eventually gave up. He eventually decided he ain't gonna fight up. He ain't gonna bother. And I see him every time I go to Charlottesville, just there, thinking about the what if, or what could have happened if it is that he found a way to stick it out. But that could never be fair. And I'm saying to you, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago does not need to reinvent the wheel. Our country doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. There are several countries in the Commonwealth with devolution of powers or federal systems or systems by which power is shared by different geographic regions and shared fairly. You go to the United Kingdom, Scotland, Wales, Jersey, Isle of Man, Northern Ireland. They all have their own government systems where they can pass laws for their area. So Wales, for example, could protect the Welsh language and teach in the Welsh language, and they're not forced to teach their children in English because they are recognized as a different geographical space and a different cultural space. Tax collection included for them. Authority over their boundaries. And yet they have one United Kingdom that meets at Westminster Palace in the heart of London. And yet, these territories also have a mechanism in their law that if they want to leave the unitary state, they could if they want. But time and time again, the Scottish people have chosen to stay by way of referendum. So why are we behaving as though this is new to the world? As though we are the ones inventing this thing? In St. Kitts and Nevis, right in the Caribbean, they have a federation. Nevis has a federal government. St. Kitts utilizes the actual national government or the central government as their island government as well. So they created a model that works for them. If you go to Canada, we're still in the Commonwealth of Nations. And I feel them prime ministers we have, there's go Commonwealth heads of government for joke. They just go to knock glass with prime ministers from other countries in the Commonwealth. And they don't understand that's an opportunity for knowledge sharing and to return home and bring some benefits to the country. You go to Canada, their provinces have autonomy and they are part of a federal system. And in Canada, they have some speaking French, some speaking English, but they are part of a whole where each province have certain levels of authority. Look at Toronto. Look at Ontario. Look at what's happening between Canada and Trump. Is a governor in Canada fighting back against Trump. Not even Trudeau. Yes, Trudeau is fighting. Well, he's now gone as prime minister, but is a governor carrying the fight. Is a governor threatening to withhold oil and gas from going to those states in the US. Not even the head of their country. And here we are in Tobago. You could sit down home and just hear willy-nilly. Your prime minister today met with the prime minister of Barbados and they made an agreement for use of Tobago waters. And poor you in Tobago had zero saying that. No consultation whatsoever. No concurrence between the THA and the central government. And so this is serious business, Tobago. This is not play work. This is not desk work. This is serious business. And so the job for Joel Sampson in the west and David Thomas in the east is not to go down to Parliament to come back to Tobago and replicate what the THA is supposed to be doing in Tobago. Their job is to ensure the THA gets the funding to keep doing what it's doing well for the people of Tobago. But their primary job is to secure this thing called autonomy for the people of Tobago. And what is strange is that they want to put the blame on me alone for the bill failing. But you see, my back and shoulders are broad. So they could put the blame wherever they want. But when you see in the Tobago space, political leaders that I don't even agree with, saying the bill shouldn't pass, the bill not good, is not Farley alone, say so? Is not Farley alone, say so? Several other political leaders in the space said the same thing. But in true PNM style, they believe in dictatorship, not democracy. Because it's dictatorship why their prime ministerial candidate was never selected by their party. It's dictatorship why they're sending Tracy and Ansel to kick out Kelvin Charles before his time. It's dictatorship why an ex-prime minister who cannot become prime minister again because he's not a candidate in this election will not let go of the political leadership of his party. That is dictatorship. But in Tobago, we celebrate democracy. And I am happy that I am part of an organization called the Tobago People's Party, which is the most democratically structured party in the landscape or on the landscape of Tobago. I am happy that I am part of an organization that got its symbol from the people, that got its name from the people, that got its constitution from the people, that got its founding from the people. Because there was a time when one man says, my party, leave and go away. And the people of Tobago got up and left in droves with us, and we founded the Tobago People's Party together. This is democracy at work. And to show you how this democracy is alive and well, we had internal elections. The other so-called big party in Tobago had internal elections, and every seat was uncontested. We had internal elections, and every seat we had was contested. Our chairman had to fight for that position she have. 3 worthwhile candidates. And I'm saying to you that we must honor and understand that we built something great here. And this was built with Tobago tears, Tobago blood, and Tobago sweat. And that is why this party is the best party to represent the island of Tobago for the next 5 years. Let us say what they want. Bring all the audio tapes they want. But I know this party is not being controlled by anybody in Trinidad. Amen, amen. I know that nobody in Trinidad ruling the roost here. Because one thing I know about Tobagonian is that we're biggish. Yes. And that when we own a thing that belongs to us, we just own it and own it properly. Yes. And your act of defiance on the 28th is in fact you standing up in defense of Tobago. The last time somebody told you that, you stood up in defense of them. But this is about you standing for Tobago on behalf of the 60,000 strong. All 60,000 of us can't vote. Some are children, some are juniors. And so those of us who are old enough to vote, we have a responsibility to represent the 60,000 of us and represent well and vote well. We have to protect their future. We have to ensure that the future for these youngsters, that it is brighter than the one we have. Not say, you know what it meant to fight up to get on national teams. You understand it. WASP, you know what that means. You know that if we don't support TFA to bring coaches up here and training programs up here, we will be left with nothing. We won't get a chance. Just look at what happened for the Baptist community. Almost every year the national government gives millions to the Baptist community. Not 1 cent does come to the Tobago Baptist community. Not 1 cent. And so even you in your churches, you must have an appreciation for what autonomy means. Because it is the THA that had some responsibility for the Tobago space, that had to run in and spend Tobago people money to assist you. That is the benefit of autonomy. And if we had the kind of autonomy we needed, we would have get more to spend on you. If you are an Adventist like myself, then you would have experienced what it is to take your autonomy and go. And I'm saying to the church community, the church must lead. If you believe in Jesus Christ, you are a leader. You are the head and not any tail. A cattle on 1,000 hills belong to you, man. You are royalty. You are chosen generation. You are special. You are peculiar people. Act like it. And so the church I'm a part of, you know, we said at one time we were part of a conference called South Caribbean Conference, where we were also being led by Trinidad. And it's some brave Tobagonians, not even pastors, lay leaders who stood up and say, we go in and do things on our own way. And we moved from that, we became a mission, which is like a midway point. And now we are a conference on our own. We are answering to nobody anywhere else, except that we have an equal seat at the Caribbean table along with Trinidad and all the other Caribbean people and those in the Inter-American division. That is autonomy at work. And I'm saying to you, church community, if you understand autonomy so well that you're doing it for the organization of your own churches, we have to do it for the entire island of Tobago. Help us lead Tobago to the path of autonomy. Stand up for autonomy. God has not given you a spirit of fear. And you have to join the fight. Join it from a pulpit. Join it from a rostrum. And preach the gospel of autonomy. Don't be coward about it. God ain't give you a spirit of fear. And God don't like unevenness. He don't like unfair business. He don't like when some being mistreated and others being treated better. We ain't serving no lesser God. It's not like our God less than theirs. Our God just as great as theirs. And I'm saying to you, church community, you have to come out. You have to be part of this autonomous struggle. You have to lead our people's spirituality in spirituality. And I believe the spiritual things must lead. Spiritual things must lead. And so my dear good friend, who from time to time, I will take sweet bread from my father's kitchen and bring for you. My very good friend from Smithfield. My dearest friend, Brother Pastor Frank. Your leadership in this autonomy business must not to be partial, but to stand for truth, stand for equality, stand for respect, and stand for the people of Tobago. That's your duty. I will support you in that. That's part of your duty. And so this question of our autonomy is not a one-sided argument. It's not for just people who are political alone. It involves every bit of our being. Ask our teachers. They're still waiting to get approvals for extended sick leave. They have to apply. It has to go down Trinidad and wait on somebody's desk and until you reach some minister to sign off for you in Tobago to get sick leave. That is unfair. You ready to retire and you can't get your money because the auditors can't square your money because you have unaccounted days. Teachers, you have to vote against that system and vote for a much more autonomous Tobago. They had 10 years to treat with it. They had 10 years to put the systems in place so that Tobago could actually do it on our own. But they did not, because they like power to be concentrated in the center while we are making an argument for power to be devolved to the extremities, including Tobago. So teachers, you are part of it. Our public servants, you are part of it. I am looking through a file the other day. Since 2004, Cabinet approved some positions for the public service in Tobago, including the position of a deputy clerk of the house, positions over in food security, position for divers, positions that we need critically. We are now in 2025, and up to this day, it cannot be classified. 21 years after, can't be classified. Why is that happening? So you want Tobago to be stuck in a time space, can't move, and people will come and tell you it's good so. It ain't good so. That cannot be good for the people of Tobago. And it can't be that if Cabinet wants a position created in the public service in Trinidad, they could create it today. It could be classified tomorrow, and someone could be appointed or hired in the post the next day. But in Tobago, 21 years could pass, and not one single one of them could be classified. How could that be good? How could that be good governance? And so when you walk through the THA and you see inefficiencies, it's not because public servants are wicked and they want to do their work, but we have hierarchy in the public service and they do not care about Tobago, so they are leaving your business undone. And I'm saying, I don't like with business to sleep out. They will bring it home to Tobago and fix with business yourself. So public servants, don't sit down at your desk and say, I'm not getting involved. I am business. My job is to just sign these sheets. You are very much involved. Your ability to get promotion involved. Yes. We look at our administrators. Our administrators do more work than any DPS in this country. DPS stands for Deputy Permanent Secretaries. Our administrators by law are accounting officers. By OPR Act, they are also accounting officers. They have to be in charge of spending millions and billions over time. And yet, they are considered less than their colleagues that are DPS in Trinidad, who are not accounting officers, and who could go to work and sit down all day and ain't get no work to be done. because they depend on the PS to give them work to do. But yet, our people are always seen as less than. This campaign is about reminding you that you are not less than. You are as good as any and better than many. And so Tobagonians, this campaign is a call to rally all 60,000 of us to stand and to stand strong. Now is the time to stand. Now is the time to stand. And the island is replete with examples of how our business is left undone by some agency or somebody in Trinidad. And then on top of that, when they don't like you, they send the agencies of state to mistreat you, to hold up your project. They weaponize the agencies of state. Because they have the parliament and could pass the laws, they weaponize the agencies of state. And I look at some of those unpatriotic people laughing. It's a joke. It's a good thing. Do we know what we're doing? Do we know that some of our own people are selling us into political slavery? Some of our own people have turned their backs on us and are unwilling to stand up and call wrong by its rightful name. It's wrong. It's wrong. Police should never be digging up Dr. Faith's house and be all in drawers they should not be in. That is not a business. Police should never be harassing Tobagonians, including Tobagonians that PNM hire, not even Farley hire, claiming that somehow they are part of some conspiracy. And my thing is, if you want to win an election, do this and beat me. Win me fair and square, because I did not do anything nefarious to beat you. I beat you fair and square. I beat you by reason with the people of Tobago. I beat you by being honest. I beat you by being more likable. I beat you by touching base with Tobagonians. And we will beat you come the 28th of April again. So you understand where the fight taking place. Let we have a fair fight. Let us have a fair fight. But they're afraid. So they're trying their machinations again. I see the mad boy who they used the first time popping up again, trying to recycle the same stupidness again. But let me tell you something. The time will come when Sintans will have to pick you up. But you Tobagonians, you are not crazy. You are in your right mind. God woke you up this morning and clothed you in your right mind. And come the 28th of April, you have to take a right and righteous decision. You have to take that decision. You have to stand for something, Tobagonians, or you will fall for anything. And I don't care who wants to be my political enemy. But if you are an honest Tobagonian living in Tobago right now, and you do the comparison, you look at all the offerings, look at all the political organizations. As flawed as the TPP is, it is currently the best arrangement to drive the development for the people of Tobago. That is a fact. We have to stand behind Tomo and Notsi. We have to stand behind them. We have to give them support. The reality is, David Thomas is new to the politics. He has never been on a political stage like this before. This is the largest platform he has ever been on in his life. And yes, he may not be as articulate as I am. He may not be able to string his sentences together with poetic justice like I can. But we understand that when God sent out Samuel to choose a replacement king for a wicked king, Samuel didn't go and pick who looked tallest and strongest and who had countenance of a king. Samuel went and picked who had the biggest and best heart and purest heart. And that's why we backing David Joseph Thomas. We backing the man with heart. And as what say, we backing the man with plenty guts. Because you need guts more than calabash to stand up to those people. Tomo has that, figuratively and physically. And so we backing Tomo in the East. We are backing him 100%. And then we have Joel Samson. And yes, Joel Samson, while fighting for you, he had to put on pause his studies for his master's program. Recently married, had to pause things in his private life. But he decided to answer the call because he said, I am less important than my island community. His wife said, go my boy, go my husband, you are needed by your island community right now. That is what his wife said. And we have to big up his wife for that support that she gave to him. And it is Joel's humility that will take him a long way. I was looking at some old news clipping, Joel. Mask on your face. We're now coming out of COVID. They're breaking down Tobagonians' home. We ain't even out of COVID yet. Because they want a shiny new airport to say, I give Tobago something. But you were there standing with the people. Standing in the gap for them. Those who didn't get their money, you were there to ensure a lawyer got to the court to get their money for them. You were there. You're coming to exec almost every week. And you're saying to the exec, we need this, we need that. This outstanding, that outstanding. How could you claim to care about Tobagonians? You take their homes, you underpay them, and then you take you on the back of that, charge them big money for the same lands, and then force them to pay it up before they could even build something. There are Tobagonians who come from homes that were well constructed, who right now struggling to finish their homes. And you have people walking around here proud as though there is something good. Walking around boasting about the 46 million saved from paying Tobagonians. But let me tell you something. If it was one of them friends who they own land, like how one of them friends they own the land that Mason Hall High School on, they would have paid the big money in the millions to them. But because you are poor people pitting, they didn't care about you. But this Tobago People's Party and Joel Samson cares about you. And that's why we're supporting him in the West. That is why we're fighting for him in the West. He cares about you. Because this autonomy conversation is about self-pride. It's about self-esteem as a Tobagonian. That is what it boils down to. It's about valuing yourself and valuing what you can contribute to this country. And so don't make anybody make you feel less than. Don't let anybody come here and tell you you don't have much to give. You have given and given far too much for what you have received from your country. You deserve to receive more from your country, Tobago. And I'm saying for you to receive more, you have to take the sacrifice and vote who you know out of office and vote new people in. We have to fire them. You are the employer come the 28th of April. You are the employer. You are the one to do the assessment or the performance appraisal, as you call it. You are the one to give them the failing grade. And you are the one to decide whether you are going to retain their contract for the next 5 years or give 2 new people the contract for the next 5 years. From working Tobago, I get the sense that we are ready to give 2 new people the contract for the next 5 years. And those 2 people are Joel Samson and David Thomas with the anchor as the symbol. Tobagonians, we have a few days left. Starting tomorrow, we are going to gracefully slide into the Easter weekend. A time that is sacred and a time that is important to Tobagonians. A period in which we can give some cause for reflection. And yes, it's quite a festive time for the people of Tobago. People from all over coming in for rhythm and soul and participating and having a good time. We have the goat and crab races coming up. And of course, in churches across the island, we have this celebration of not just the death, but the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And now might be a good time to remind you of the object lesson of that story, which is that when they think you're done, tell them I come, you are come. When they think you are dead, tell them that you will rise again. When they think that they had killed the Tobagonian spirit, tell them it shall rise again. It will not stay dead. And they thought they had killed it. They thought when they came in 2001 that they had changed the culture so dramatically that it will never switch back. They gave every one of us CPEP and URP. They made us beholden to them for everything, every grant. You had to go and beg them. We had secretaries who used to send truck drivers to take up back gravel from people home if they didn't vote for them. We had bad mind politics. And we had a chief secretary who used to talk about good Tobago, bad mind. The Tobagonians I know not about bad mind. We are good-minded people and good-spirited people. And this election campaign is a good spirit. So we're going to wash every bad-mindedness and every bad spirit out of this place. They thought they had Tobago locked down. And they had thrown away the key. But we pray to a great God who found the key and opened the locks to our chains and set us free on the 6th of December 2021. And I'm saying the revolution has to continue. It has to continue in April. April is a good time to rise again, Tobago. April is a good time to show your face again. April is a good time to have victory over your political graves. So we are not afraid. We are not afraid of their faces and we are not afraid of their ways. We are not afraid because we have a mighty work to do for this island. And so it's not enough, as I tell you every night, it's not enough for us to show up here in our hundreds. We have to go out there and bring the rest of the community along with us. It is not enough to just say, as for me and my house. You have to help us carry the entire island. Because we can't leave some people on this side of the Jordan. All our way have to cross into the promised land. No man must be left behind. Now might be a good time, as the scripture says, to sanctify yourself because we have to cross the Jordan into the promised land. We want everyone on this train. There is room enough here for everybody. So I even telling Watson, vote TPP. I'm telling Ayana, vote the anchor. I'm telling Jerry, put on the pan for a bit and vote the anchor. I'm telling the Karut boy, vote the anchor. I'm telling the independent one, who does always become independent when the party and pick him, vote the anchor. I am telling all of you, Denise, vote the anchor. Because this anchor holds. This anchor will hold you too. And we have enough room in the boat for you. Don't do like the children in Noah's days and stay outside and drown in the flood. Vote the anchor. Come on board this ship so that we can rescue you along with the rest of Tobago. Because Tobago is marching forward to a brighter future with Joel Sampson in the west, David Thomas in the east, and the anchor as our symbol. So come the 29th of April, we have our work cut out for you, Tomo and Notsi. Because you have to represent us in the parliament and represent our dream for autonomy in the truest of forms. Not your dream, not Farley's dream, but the dream for the entire island of Tobago. Not a one-man vision, but the entire island vision. And we have been so magnanimous that when we came into office, we said, you know what? Let us not throw away the Orville documents. Let us use those as the jump-off point. And we said, at least give us what Orville sent down to the parliament. Because it wasn't about what Farley wanted or just the party I represented. But I recognize that Orville and they did the most extensive consultation. And if they did it and sent what Tobago and said they wanted to the parliament, let us start there. But you can't throw that away and then come back and tell me good for you. And it's a hypocrisy I can't take. Hypocrisy, because the same people rejected Kamala Bill, formed one with the people of Tobago because they claimed Kamala Bill didn't represent what Tobagonians wanted. And now, after Tobagonians sent down to the parliament what they wanted, they decide to spread it like gazette on the ground. And when they do have toilet, they do on it. Meanwhile, your dream is left to rot. And I'm saying the dream comes alive again on the 28th of April. You have to make it come alive again. Don't make that mistake. Don't get distracted. Don't be fooled. Blue is the code. The anchor is the symbol. Tobago People's Party is the name. And Joel Sampson is the candidate in the west. And David Thomas is the candidate in the east. That's all we need to know. So from now, pack your bag for election day. Put aside your ID card. Don't let it drop out in no fete this weekend. And even if you lose it, that is okay. Even if you ain't get a polling card from EBC, that's okay too. You don't need a polling card and you don't need an ID to vote. You need to ensure you are registered. And you should have ensured of that long time ago. Once you are registered, you have a duty to go out on behalf of your island. We have no hands but your hands. No feet but your feet. You have to do the work for us on April 28th. So that we can go to Port of Spain and take what is rightfully ours. It's too long now. For how long we gonna be in bondage? When we gonna break free? When we gonna have enough? When we gonna say enough is enough? At what point are we going to say, now is the time? So many people fought before me. So many people fought before Tomo and Notsi. Many of them died. Some limping in the fight still. But I don't want my daughter that is 2 years old to still come and have to fight. We have to get this now. Not see you have a 2-year-old son. He must not have to come and fight for this. You have to go and get this for him. Tomorrow you have 5 or 6 sons. I can't keep check. And plenty grandchildren. You have to fight for them and ensure that they don't have to fight like you. Now is the time. There is no better time than now. Not tomorrow, not next year, but now. And as I said to you at the start, constitutional reform could only be passed at the parliament. Farley could talk all he wants. Farley could have nice plans all he wants. Farley could talk to you all he wants. We could draft white paper, green paper, all color paper all we want. Only the parliament could pass this. But you have to apply some positive pressure for the parliament to pass it. This is what this revolution is about. This is what this is about. Don't get distracted. Don't lose sight of the vision. Don't lose your focus. Don't lose hope, most importantly, because you can rest your hope and your trust and your confidence at this time in David Thomas in the east and Joel Sampson in the west. And on the 29th of April, we will go to Port of Spain. We will go down to the parliament or the president's house or wherever they have this celebration. We will iron our finest blue suits to represent the dominant color in the Tobago House of Assembly emblems. And we will go down there with David Thomas and Joel Sampson to be sworn in as your new members of parliament. And we will begin the very difficult work of changing the hearts and minds of the other 39 members. And ensuring that Tobago gets what Tobago needs. Not what they want, not what they think we need, but what we truly need. And most importantly, what we deserve. It is time for some historical justice to happen to this question of autonomy. It has been too long now. And I refuse to die. I refuse to go to my grave. And it does not happen. So we're sending Thomas. We're sending Sampson. They will get it for us. They will fight for us. We will support them. They will get backative from every Tobagonian. And together, we will bring home the trophy of Tobago's autonomy once and for all. Tobago, I thank you. Be safe this weekend. Drive safely on the roads this weekend. You can only vote if you are alive. So we don't want you to die this weekend. Be safe, Tobago. Enjoy the weekend. Remember that just like Jesus Christ, we shall rise again. Thank you, and God's richest blessings.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is our Chief Secretary and political leader. But we have one more item for you, you know. We have one more item for you. We have a man who will entertain us as we wind down. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on Guardian Knight. Guardian Knight, take it on.
Good night, good night. Who we voting for? What the code is? Natural. Anchor them and run it. Alright.
You hear me again? Boom!
Now you want a little vibe now?
Yeah, and I defend our truths, alright. You hear me? It's all about the TPP.
Who we voting for?
Blue, we say, you hear me? Blue, blue, blue. Anchor them, you hear me? You hear me again?
Come on. I said, lady anchor down. Tobago has 60,000 strong. Wave those blue flag high. Wave them in the sky. From the east to the west.
Tobago we rise, forget the rest.
Yeah, man.
Change the time.
But wait now, let's go. No more pop the flag, now pop the flag. Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Party. Tobago People's Party. Who we voting for? We voting TPP. We voting TPP. Yeah, man.
Johnson and David are the reps.
I mean,
they have no match, they are the best standing
side by side.
Yeah,
with Farley as their guide. Anchor in our hands.
Sprung it from the start, let's just play our part.
Yeah, man.
Lift your party high, unity and pride, let Jah be your guide.
Tobago People's Party. Tobago People's Party. Party. Tobago People's Party. We vote in TPP. We vote in TPP. As a lady anchor down, Tobago has 60,000 strong. Fly those blue flags high. Wave them in the sky. From the dreams take your soul. Together we are in control. Yeah, man. New story to what told. Tobago People's Party.
Let us rearrange, time to ride the wave.
Yeah, man, make a future for the kids and them you don't know.
Bold and brave.
You hear me again? Tobago People's Party. Party. Tobago People's Party.